Hello, hello, hello. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Good folks of the algorithm, how are you doing? I'm sorry that I am late. I am super late. I planned on starting at around like 3 o'clock or 2, but I had to run around. There was something going on with my system, so I had to go to the Geek Squad, get my system fixed and everything. And then on top of that, I had to go pick up Mother's Day presents and stuff like that. And my son sent me something, so I'm very happy about that. I can't wait to open it up on Sunday. But I do hope that everybody is having a great, lovely day. Today was really nice outside. Right now, it seems like it's about to get all ugly and rainy and stuff. But earlier, it was nice and sunny, so I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. Oh, hi Bruce. How you doing? That's I know. Thank you so much for coming. I truly appreciate it. Have a great day at church. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, I have 3 cases for you guys as promised, even though I am tired and it is late. I'm going to knock this out for you. So later on, if you want to review it, please go ahead and review these cases if you're interested in it. Please share them out to anyone that you think is interested in it. And if you're just coming in to say hi because you have to get ready for the next work day, just hit a like button for me. It truly does help the channel. Truly appreciate it. Hi, Sizzler. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. I do like dragons. Shout out to you, White Mike. I do. I actually do like dragons. I do. I have a dragon. Hi, Ailey. How are you? Thank you so much. Truly appreciate your compliment. I really, really do. Truly appreciate it. So, the first case that I have for you guys is old cases. I'm using videos from these very known channels, Red Tree Stories and Beyond Evil today. And one of the cases that I wanted to go over is this guy named Daniel. He almost got away with murder. I don't know if this had to do with a significant other, but there was at one point where he wasn't even looked at as a suspect, and it's because of DNA. That's why we was able to pin it back to him so he can face the justice for whatever crime that he committed. So I wanted to go over that with you guys. So let's go. Hey, Southern Belle, how are you? Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope your day went well. Definitely. I hope your day went well. Let's see. Oh, no, not you going crazy. Okay, so then we're going to just have to block you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, sweet. It's funny. I think I look tired. I have no makeup on. I just only got lipstick and some eyelashes, for today because today was just a lipstick eyelash look. I don't have no makeup or anything on. So I thought I looked kind of tired, but I appreciate you, Southern Belle. I truly do appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. So let me pull this up for you guys and let's get started. All right, here's my screen and here we go.
DNA has been solving cases for quite some time. Something as simple as tossing a cigarette onto the sidewalk can lead to a life sentence. The filter on a cigarette acts like a sponge that soaks up human saliva, which contains DNA. The DNA in the filter can last up to 6 months, especially if left indoors. For 57-year-old Daniel Wells, a cigarette with his DNA is what brought him into this interrogation room.
I'm sure you got 100 questions right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is
we have a lot of things that we'd like to talk to you about. So we got a bunch going on. We got a lot of questions to ask you.
Pete, thank you so much for the
part of the
compliment.
procedures
Shout
we
out
need
to
to go
Canada.
through is before we go any farther, I need to read you your rights. Does not mean that you're under arrest. It does not mean that you don't walk out of here. It just means right now we need to talk about what's going on with this case. Understand that?
sure.
No questions about it? Okay, so I'll read all these to you.
Okay.
If you don't understand anything, you have any questions, please feel free to stop me, okay?
Back in the year 1985, 23-year-old Tanya McKinley was murdered in Pensacola, Florida in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. When her body was found, the police were able to collect samples of DNA left inside her body. The only problem they had was that they didn't have the technology they have today, so the case remained unsolved for almost 40 years.
So, back in the mid-'80s, did you know a girl named Tanya McKinley?
And I think this is a really good case to, to actually review, right? Because it's been almost 40 years and this guy was able to live pretty much half his life without even being questioned in the involvement of a killing of this woman. And because we have gotten better with our technology today, this is why we are able to trace people even from back then, especially if they have a criminal history and their DNA and fingerprints is already on record because they did some type of criminal activity throughout their life. It makes it easy for us to actually say, hey, this person might have been involved. We need to come in and start questioning them now. So, that is a kudos to the technology that we are, we are growing and developing and being more advanced in. That's a shout out to that. We know we have the negative part of technology, but I like to give, credit where credit is due with the advancement of technology when it's being definitely used for, for good things. I truly want to, shout them out for that. Let's see. Hey, Flower, how are you? I hope everything is well with you, sis. Thank you so much for stopping by. I just got on, Flower. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Yeah, I do too, Pete. I really do. Like, I really just don't like people who do that. I don't like people who hurt anyone, right? I'm all for self-defense, right? I'm all for self-defense for a family and all this stuff like that. But when you're just intentionally out there just harming people, I don't get down like that. I really don't. I don't like that. It's okay, Bruce. You go ahead and do what you have to do, okay? I know you got church tonight. All right, let's go on.
McKinley now.
Who's on the high school?
Tanya McKinley. I knew a Tanya.
Or Tanya Etheridge?
No. No. Don't know her.
Do you remember her if you knew her? I mean, like if it was somebody you dated in high school.
No.
You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only Tanya I knew was Tanya Lynn.
So let's say, shout out to Mahadriza. She said, are you learning how not to get in trouble in that room? Yes. What we talk about on this channel, we like to dissect the psychology part in reference with law and crime. I like to give you insight of what the detectives and the investigators are thinking about. Sometimes with these video essays, we might get lucky where we will see some glimpse of what's going on in the court so you can understand where the defense attorney or the prosecutors is going to outline this incident to get a conviction or to get their client off, like not guilty. And then we also dissect the psychology of the individual who's in this situation or who's being questioning. Some give themselves away, and even some who are innocent because they don't understand that the detectives and investigators are not your friends. They will say or allow you to say whatever you need to pull it as evidence that is going to be used against you or could be used against you, really, in the court of law, especially if the state wants to press charges on you. What I preach on this channel, whether if you are innocent or whether you are guilty, you need to go get a lawyer. For some particular reason, we think that we can explain ourselves and people will understand exactly where we're coming from. And sometimes it doesn't work. And I hate to see that when it's an innocent individual who doesn't understand that the words or the verbiage that they're spilling out is going to be used against them in a negative way instead of pleading for their innocence. So we go through all of this on a channel, and I try to keep it as entertaining and sometimes lighthearted because these are situations where people lost their life and it's not a funny situation. I wish that all these people did not lose their lives, but I do still believe that these cases should be reviewed. And if we can review with each other, we can, pin ideas amongst each other. There's things that I know that you might not know, and there are things that you know that I might not know. So I try to have an immersive learning environment at this chat. As long as we keep it cute, cordial, and respectful, everyone is welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. All right, let's see. But thank you. I appreciate you, Asadi. I appreciate you. You know it. He will get his. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, Southern Belle. Bruce is hitting them church streets. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, thank you, Flower. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love the color green, but it's not my favorite color. Just like, yes, the other day I wore red and everybody loved me in red. They say that's my color. I don't like red and I don't really I like green, but I only like certain types of green. My colors are very dark colors. I think it has to do for me being a New Yorker. It is what it is, but I prefer dark colors. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, dear. Shout out to Iran. Shout out to Iran. Appreciate you. Let's go on.
I went to school with.
Yeah. Or she probably would have done like a year ahead of you in school.
I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell. No. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of who we were talking about. And so it'd be kind of strange if you don't know her at all.
No, I don't. I don't know her at all.
By Daniel admitting that he doesn't know the victim, it strengthens their case against him, because how did his DNA get into her body? If Daniel would have said, yes, I knew her and we had intercourse, that could explain the DNA evidence. Daniel claims that except for a traffic violation, he has never been in trouble with the police. The detectives know this isn't true. In fact, Daniel has assault and battery on his record, and he also has a history of interactions with prostitutes.
Anything to do with their prostitution? A solicitor prostitute?
So the bad thing about this, right? This is a 40-year gap. So he probably don't even remember her. Me looking at him, I don't get serial killer from him. I do get maybe a sociopath, and he went to the extreme and unalived a woman who probably was a sex worker, and he did that so many years ago that he probably don't remember. He doesn't keep very well up with himself. He seemed like in the beginning he had his arms crossed. He was a little defensive, right? But him not knowing her, it didn't help him in this situation, right? Because they have DNA evidence. So now they're going to be questioning. And he's probably going to say, well, if I even dealt with this woman, intimately, it was so many years ago. How do you really expect me to know what happened to her after we had our little sexual interaction? So, but that doesn't help his case either, right? It doesn't help his case either, because that means all these years you seen that they were looking for people. They was putting out hotlines saying crime stoppers, anybody who know this woman, anybody who know who was with this woman, can you come in and help us? The detective's been doing this for almost 40 plus years, and you never surfaced. You never came in to say, hey, listen, I know I dealt with this woman. I had a intimate relationship with this woman at one point in time. Around that time, let me know I'm gonna let you know what I know about her, or know about whatever happened to her. You didn't do that. You went on your merry life for 40 plus years, and then now cold cases are now becoming hot, because this is another thing that a lot of people don't understand about these cases, right? A cold case does not mean that the case is closed. It means that the detectives and the investigators ran out of suspects or trails to try to find out what happened and actually bring justice to this situation, right? But it doesn't mean that it's closed. There's a difference between a closed case and a cold case. A cold case can be picked up by any detective or any investigator who gets assigned that report. Now, usually that report stays with an investigator or a detective for numerous of years, especially if they want to hold on to that case because they found certain things from it, so they want it to be their baby, that they handle it. But most of the time, when a cold case go cold, 5 or 10 other more cases come up on that same detective. So then they will move the priority of that case down all the way to the bottom, and the most current and newest ones that have more evidence or more of a trail, they will push that up to the top. So a lot of people don't know that. So I wanted to make sure that people understand, that a cold case does not mean that it's a closed case. Those are two different things, okay? Two different things. All right, let's see. Hey, Ronnie Ron, how are you doing? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, sir. Hope everything is well with you. Thank you so much. So they know he's a liar. Yes, they know he is a liar because they did their due diligence of finding about his information earlier on. Hey, girl, dad, how are you, sir? I hope everything is going well with you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Bump Snack said, I do not really support detectives. Maybe it's a hot take, but from what I know, they don't look for actual guilty people. They'll try to convince anyone to admit guilt. Well, it's not convincing because then that will lead into coercion. And that is one thing that detectives and investigators cannot do. They cannot coerce someone to say that they're guilty. They cannot tell these particular people to say something that will criminate themselves. They can't do that. And they cannot offer any gifts or less sentences if they do admit or confess to a crime, right? These are things that detectives and investigators cannot do. However, they can use fabrication, right? And meaning as in fabrication, a good example will be they could say that they found something on a crime that has your DNA on it, and they might not even have the results back to show that that is your DNA on it, but they can present that to you saying that they found something at the scene of the crime that has your DNA on it. Now, if that person who is a potential suspect decides to say, oh, yeah, I was there and yeah, I did have the glove, but I didn't do anything. Is that really them coercing them to say that they were at the scene of the crime and that they actually did know what happened with this incident? No, it's not. They put them in kind of in a situation where they tell on themselves. So there's a difference between fabrication and coercion. But shout out to you, Bump Snap. Shout out to you. He says, I believe the system should focus on rehabilitation and care more than just conviction. You know what? I am in total agreement with you. I do believe that rehabilitation should be on the marker and we should have less people in prison and more people rehabilitated, right? I truly agree with that. But as you know, the jail system is a very lucrative system in our country, and it's been for quite some time. So that's something that we have to take up with the people that we elect, right? It says the jurisdiction is way too corrupted, and it can be. It definitely can be. It definitely can be. I totally agree. Hey, Black Beauty, how are you? Thank you for coming and stopping by, sis. Truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. And say we can definitely keep the professions, but we must change the way they operate. Yes, and it's got to be a collective together to think about how we're going to move forward, right? Because this is something called SOP, right? Standard policies, right? That everybody is going to align with. If we feel that there's something wrong with it, then it has to be collective thought to try to change things or do modification. But I will say that don't get rid of something unless you actually really have something that is better in place, because all it's going to do is just cause more chaos and probably more harm if things are not set properly. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Flower said, yeah, but their job is to solve cases, and a lot of them don't care if it's actually solved as long as it looks closed on the plate. But yeah, I agree. Yes, Flower, I agree. She said that's an issue with the system once again. Yeah, I can understand that. If we genuinely cared about the future in our system, we'll fix a long time ago. Yeah, I agree with that, Bump Snack. I really do. Let's see. Shout out to Psycho Bum. I just joined. What's going on? We're going over a case, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. It's a testament to how we will have it in the West. We can have manipulating labor for money and still work. Yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. Seems they just care about the paycheck like most people. Yeah. until money doesn't have less value than people, then we will not have a functioning system in the long run. I agree with that. Definitely. I stopped consuming content like this because it made me depressed, and I mostly seen just manipulation and scare tactics. I understand your feeling, and like if you even feel like that now, you you do what you have to do. Truly, I understand that. Okay, I really do. Let's see, really don't believe the detectives actually focus on finding who's guilty, but just want to close the cases. They do want to, I think it's both. Some of them do take real, take to heart of these lot of cases. And then a lot of them do tend to get numbed after quite so many years of doing it, right? If they're doing this for 25 plus years, you can't expect people not to be a little bit numb to these outcomes. Like, it happens. It's the same kind of numbness that nurses or trauma nurses experience when they have been seeing people for 15 years in dire need or about to lose their life coming in every single day, right? Like after a while, they get kind of numb to it. It's not such a shock like it was before. But I'm gonna start playing a little bit more. I know y'all continue to writing. I'm gonna still put up your comments. Thank y'all so much for being active in the chat, and let's go on.
You have to know if I'm asking a question like that.
No, I'm thinking.
I think you remember if you got arrested for soliciting prostitution.
Yeah, I got pulled over one time in Brownsville, but I didn't get. I wasn't soliciting prostitute. I don't know what they pulled me over for, and then they went through my vehicle.
But you got a charge for solicitation.
I don't remember. I don't think I did. Because we talked out there on the street and stuff, and it was.
Didn't get a ticket, a notice to appear. Didn't get taken to jail.
I don't think so.
Would you be surprised to say when I ran your criminal history, it showed both those charges? That you're arrested for battery?
Just trying to remember. Battery?
Yeah.
And that you're arrested for battery.
And arrested for solicitation? Told nothing at all.
I remember talking to, but I didn't.
Marie, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Well, so here's the thing. So,
I can understand that, Steve.
You're
I can understand that.
Like me, you're older, you're experienced. You got a lot of life experience and stuff. So, you gotta know we're not here because of today. Right. There's been a lot of work leading up to today. And I ask you questions because I'm giving you opportunities to clear some things up. And I'll ask you questions that I already know the answer to. But it's better if the answers come from you. And so it gives you that opportunity.
Focus on the wrong thing, Alan.
So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? Mm-hmm. That there's been a whole lot of work going on, a whole lot of knowledge.
You don't remember ever being in handcuffs at all?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about those times when you have been detained and arrested in handcuffs?
I guess that was the time in Brownsville.
Okay.
You guess it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened to you when they put you in handcuffs?
I guess we went downtown and I can't remember.
They take a picture, book you, fingerprint you, that stuff. So they did arrest you.
Yeah.
So arrest is one of those things to where there's certain things in your life that cause trauma. Everybody's wired the same way.
Right.
If you're arrested, people, unless you've been arrested so many times where you just can't remember the volume, people will remember those things because it's not a normal, everyday occurrence. So these are things that you would know. So you do remember that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other times that you've been?
Hey Robert, how are you doing?
Do you remember anything about the fight or a fight that you've had?
I don't remember about ever having a battery charge.
Okay. Any other charges that you can think of? The other times that you were put in handcuffs or anything like that?
The detectives make a good point that he should be able to remember such a traumatic situation. Daniel realizes the detectives have done their homework, and he begins to confess to the other times he was arrested. Daniel has quite the criminal history, everything from assault and battery to exposing himself in public.
Yeah, so the answers that we're looking for, we already kind of know the answers.
Right.
We've already said that we did run your history.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there something that you had in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Where you may have been arrested there? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
What was that for?
it was the Lascivious Act, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think? Or
Yeah, it was.
Was it just once?
Yeah, once there, and I think in Liberty one time, Liberty, Missouri. I exposed myself.
What was going on in your life then that brought that on?
Hard times, the divorce, and just.
Is that why you're going through the divorce?
No, it wasn't because of it. It was just, I don't know. That I maybe drinking and stuff too. Had played a role in it, I'm sure.
You have your drink back then?
Off and on.
Off and on. So what happened during that incident?
I just, I went to
Yeah,
court
he did.
over
Black
it,
Beauty,
and
yeah.
I went and did counseling for about 6 months, and that was that and probation for a year.
Well, so I mean, what the incident? So whatever you're doing, we're exposing yourself.
Well, one,
What was going on?
I was coming back from a friend's house I was working on, and this woman did walk up on me. I was peeing off the side of my truck on a dumpster or whatever, and anyway, but she made a comment to me about it, and I had been drinking and stuff, and I said something rude to her. So that went and escalated from that.
What do you mean? Escalated? Because a little lascivious type thing is you.
I was exposed.
What were these other incidents like?
And the other incident was I exposed myself to a lady in a parking lot. Yeah, after I had been drinking. Yeah.
That one wasn't.
I just exposed myself.
I hope he doesn't think that they did all this because of indecent exposure. They're literally asking you about a particular lady from 40 years ago, and you really think that they've been tracking you down for indecent exposure for 40 years ago by being a drunkard? I don't think so. I think he's trying to play it off as that's all he did, and he was really drunk and he doesn't remember anything else. But it was funny how when he started to pin things together, that the detectives is about to ask him some serious questions, then he's like, oh yeah, I remember like a long time ago, I was really drunk. I was going through things with the wife, divorce and all that stuff like that. And I think I was really drunk and I exposed myself out on the street. It's funny how now you remember that, but when they actually showed you the photos of the woman, you said that you didn't even recognize her at all. Okay, let's go on, Daniel. Let's go on.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
So what about the other cases?
That's the two in Missouri.
Not just the two that you got arrested for, because there's other cases. I mean, so you're saying, so I know you got arrested, right?
Right.
And so when we're asking these questions, it's not always just what you got caught for. Right? Because when we contacted them, and the reports specifically state, this sounds like the same suspect in these other cases. And
Exactly, Flower.
And now those victims chose, as many do, they didn't want to go through the court process, and they didn't want to go testify and stuff like that, but there's reports.
Right.
That you've done this more than that.
When I was in Missouri. Yeah.
While you were in Missouri.
Right.
You did it multiple times.
Yeah. Independent.
When was that?
That was in the 90s, probably 92 through 95 or something like that.
By not admitting to all the different charges he has acquired over the years, Daniel shows the detectives that he's untrustworthy and capable of lying. This means that his claims of not knowing the victim could be false, because if he's able to lie about indecent exposure, he will definitely lie about murder.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense, right? Like, you are lying that you have a history of being locked up from early 1990s until now of indecent exposure. You're a flasher, dude. And you know what's so funny? Because that was the highlight era of flashers, right? Especially in the early 90s. The highlight of flashers. It was crazy. Like, even up here in New York. Oh my God. I can remember 1996. 1996. I was coming home from school. And this is when we used to have to worry about stranger danger, right? And the white van, watch out for the white vans that used to be around the school or around the blocks of the school. And I remember in 1996, this white van came rolled up on side of me and my friend who was walking home from school, and opens up the door, and this guy, he's butt naked, and he's just flinging his little ling-a-ling all over the place. And I had to literally like grab my friend's hand and run because I was afraid that he might try to pull her into the vehicle. But eventually, we got hold of police, and I actually had to tell them who he was in a lineup, because they was able to capture the van because I caught the license plates at that time, and I pointed out who was the individual that did it. But just to say all that, around the early 90s, there was a lot of stranger danger, a lot of flashing of the body parts and stuff like that, and also like snatching and grabbing young adults and children into these white vans, these unmarked white vans that had no windows, and it was like a pull, like it's like a one slide pull door. That was a lot going on right there. So for him to have a whole history of doing that, but then to pretend that he doesn't know that he has a criminal record of indecent exposure, throughout the years, yes, it's going to make the detectives believe, well, we cannot trust anything that come out of your mouth because we have this all on record. You know how many times you've been arrested for this, right? So why lie about your criminal history record? It did not go away. Why lie if we know that we could pull this up, right? So it makes perfect sense. It definitely does. But let's see. Oh. Flower said wrong alone. Yes. Wingling, yes. Yes, Flower, yes. She said, I never knew about the white vans until I was adult. Really? Yeah, man, I was experiencing those white vans, stranger danger situation from early 90s. Even it kind of like stopped around like 2000. In 2000, they just started coming and attacking children and stuff like that, or young adults with any vehicle, right? Per se. They would just always see them hanging around schoolyards and stuff like that, or trying to get around children and teenagers when they're at lunch. I always wonder how they even knew the schedule, like the lunch schedule, right? And this is why in certain schools, especially if you're living in urban cities or urban communities, for each grade level, the lunchtime is different now. They changed it up due to the fact that there was a lot of problems that was happening when you put too many grades in the same space at the same time. There was problem there. And then also because there, people shouldn't know when or which grade is going to lunch and who's going to be out there in the yard. But they still did it. They still found a way to do it. They did. Let's go on.
Know why?
Again, Dan, I just can't stress to you the importance of know where we're at now. At the end of this investigation,
that as the name,
it's important for you to be as truthful as you can. I understand that you said you're trying, and that you're trying to be truthful and try to remember stuff. But it seems like on some of this stuff already, we're having to spoon feed you stuff. You're like, oh yeah, okay. Now that you're telling me you know about it, then I'll go ahead and tell you the truth, right?
I know you.
But Purge did have white
it's
bands.
embarrassing.
I'll say that.
Dan, there's nothing that you can say that's going to embarrass us.
Well, it embarrasses me.
I've been here. Right. I say it embarrassing me, right? I've been doing this 30 years.
And before we go on, I just want y'all to pay attention to his body position and how he's acting now. He has his arms crossed. He has his hands under his arms, letting you know that he's not going to be forthcoming. He's starting to feel a little pressure. So he's now starting to become a little defensive, especially when they're pretty much letting him know that, hey, we understand and we know your criminal history. So, let's not play dumb. Let's not act like you don't have this type of history of doing this or being drunk publicly, exposing yourself. So I want you to just keep in mind of his body mannerism. He's not going to be forthcoming. He's going to tell lies, or he's going to probably say that he doesn't remember. And he's going to use the fact that this happened 40 plus years ago that he does not remember. All right, let's go on.
He's somewhere around 27 years now doing this. A lot of our career has been spent up here in investigations. We have investigated the worst of the worst crimes that Pensacola has brought to us. So, like he said, you're not going to surprise us with anything, okay? I understand your point of view that it's embarrassing to say that, I did these things. But unfortunately, you're not in a spot right now where you're going to be hide behind that embarrassment.
Right.
Okay, it's time for all that stuff to end. It's time to come clean and just be honest. Okay, because that's going to get you through all this.
Right.
Okay, it's just honesty. From our point of view, what you did is you pulled up, you saw a lady, probably pretty, right? You targeted her.
I've been drinking.
You've been drinking, right?
That's the only time I ever did that.
And then, so you said you asked for direction to lure her over to your truck. Why would you do that? I understand you were drinking. But I
don't know.
Is it out of frustration? Do you think that seeing her reaction or her embarrassment or something like that was something that you were looking for?
I just think it was just for my own gratification. I don't know. It's just.
Did you use that story every time? Or did you use different stories?
That was just.
Again, that was the one that you got arrested on.
Mm-hmm.
But there was other cases.
Right.
Is it Independence? Near there?
Independence, yeah.
In Blue Springs, you mentioned.
I used to live in Blue Springs.
But you mentioned one of those. Is either Blue Springs or Liberty when you said you were by the dumpster?
It was outside of Liberty. That was up in Excelsior Springs.
Okay. Is it Liberty County or is it Liberty City?
Liberty City.
Okay.
Now that they have shown Daniel that he is capable of committing strange and illegal acts, they want to discuss what he was doing on the night Tanya was murdered.
So on New Year's Eve, going from 1984 to 1985, remember what you were doing that night?
No.
What would you normally have done on the New Year's Eve during that time frame?
Maybe go out to Kevin's and apply or something like that on the beach. Or
like to go out to the beach?
To go.
So where you normally hang out at? What bars? I mean, you work for Chan's.
Right.
But you did.
So as y'all good folks know, I always preach on this channel, go get a lawyer, right? And this really stands clear as day why you need to get a lawyer, especially with this guy, right? They're literally bringing him in and asking him about his whereabouts and what he was doing on New Year's of 1985. This is like 40 plus years later, okay? 40 plus years later. Now, I understand the whole situation about him. He should know that he has criminal records of indecent exposure, being drunk in public, avenues and stuff like that. I get that, right? But they're asking him details in reference of what he did on the New Year's of something 40 plus years ago. And he could say something that could be true. He can also say something that is a lie. I mean, right now he's going to be very nonchalant. Like he's going to be like, hey, I don't remember. It's 40 plus years ago. What do you want me to do? You want me to remember every single New Year's? But the reason why they're going to ask that question anyway is because you should know when you took a life. You should know when things got out of hand. There's certain events in our lives that we always remember, right? That we always remember. And like I said, this guy doesn't read a full-on psychopath. He doesn't read like a serial killer, right? He reads as like he's on the highest level of sociopath and he committed a murder. He doesn't read serial killer to me, right? Because for a serial killer, they don't feel nothing about anything. Their emotions is mundane. So for a serial killer, yeah, it was just Friday. Taking this person's life or unaliving this individual or that individual that week or that month or whatever, not, it was just Friday to them. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing different. But whereas with him, the reason why they're asking this question is because they're not getting serial killer vibes from him. They're getting probably full-blown narcissist, probably a full-blown sociopath, or on the highest level of sociopath that becomes very dangerous, and that he might have committed a crime and ran away and, lived on his best life for 40 plus years, but now DNA has linked him to this lady. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why they're asking him these particular type of questions now. They know that he probably don't really remember, or he's not going to really remember. But if they put enough fabrication on the things that they do know about this lady, about the incident of her losing her life, hopefully they're hoping that he will reveal more evidence that will confirm that he has something to do with her unaliving back then. So let's go. Let's see. Hey, Miss Jalen, how you doing? Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Hi, Nicole. She said EWU. Oh, they did they? Right? Oh my God. You know what? Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm gonna have to watch that episode and see how they chew this guy apart. But yes, shout out to you, ma'am. Let's go on.
Culinary, would you ever go to the bars?
Not very
On
often.
Gregory or on Davis?
Not downtown.
If you went out, you would go to...
Usually the beach. That's where I'd be.
When you stayed in town, where would you go?
When I stay in town.
Yeah, if you didn't go to the beach, is there a bar, place in town you'd like to go to?
Ever go to Chance?
What's that?
Chance.
Chance?
Yeah. You ever go to that bar since you worked for him? Did you ever go
Well, that was over on at the University Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was just asking, would you go there?
yeah,
On or off?
well, we after work, we go by and have an after work.
There's Chan's there.
Chan's and then trying to think what that Jisco was.
Up there by University Mall?
No.
Or are you talking about Odyssey or 2001? Or
2001, that's what it was. It was sort of like a Fairfield.
That was Town and Country.
Yeah, Town and Country
That's
Plaza.
about it. That, and usually I was out at the beach or.
There's Chan's there. There's like 3 bars around, bar restaurants.
Yeah, there was
University Mall,
Chance. There was the White Hotel in Daryl's.
Daryl's Bar and
Oh, it's
Grill
the
was the
it's
last
a
place
channel,
that Tanya
however.
had been seen
It's one of
before
these
her body
crime
was discovered
psychology
not too far
channels.
away.
They're very good.
So what would you normally do like on New Year's Eve night? What would you picture yourself back then doing as a like hanging out with friends, going to someone's house, going out?
A group of people, yeah. I was never alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Daniel makes sure to say that he never partied alone, especially on New Year's Eve. The detectives need to find out how likely it would have been for Daniel to have sex with any female strangers around that time. If Daniel claims that it wasn't likely, then he will appear more guilty.
When you would go out
Around a
on
house.
New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
because you're a young guy, would you be out like looking for anybody, like company, a woman, or anything like that?
No. Usually I was with a group of friends. Or whatever.
Ever get lucky?
Yeah, I get lucky. Oh man, yeah. Back in those days, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was usually out like were
you diverse like one night stands?
Occasionally, yeah.
Because
normally you meet somebody and get to know them.
And most guys are nice. Or said if you're at a bar and you start a conversation with a girl and if she's willing, you're not going to turn it down.
Right. Yeah.
Girls might, but guys usually don't. And so.
Yeah, I had a few one-night stands.
For over an hour, Daniel
Hi,
has
Lisa,
answered
how are
questions, but
you?
not
Thank you
once
for
has he
stopping
asked why he's
by.
being questioned or what the questions are about. They will now present Daniel with a picture of the victim and tell him why he's being questioned.
And again,
John Pendergast, and I had a little
I'm going to show you how.
Okay.
I mean, this one she would look like if she'd gone out.
Yeah. I don't know her.
Don't know her at all.
No. I've
You
never
never
seen
had
her.
contact with her?
Never.
Any idea what we're talking about yet?
No. I don't. I don't know what I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
All right, let's cut the chase. So that young lady I just showed you a picture of.
Right.
Hey, Lord.
New Year's Eve, 1984 to 1985. January 1st, early 1985.
Okay.
Was found dead on the side of a road. And I have the evidence that you're the one that's there.
Oh.
I have irrefutable evidence that you're there. I'm not doing all this on a guess.
I hear you, but I don't know.
On a hunch. Dan,
Yeah.
telling you, you're there.
I wasn't there.
Do you watch TV? Some?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How can he say that he wasn't there if you don't remember where you went that New Year's? You don't even remember who you were with, but you do remember that you don't go anywhere by yourself in New Year's. So how are you going to tell them that it wasn't you and you weren't there? They was not going to be able to just pull you out of a rabbit hat, and just like pull you out and just say, oh, let's just stick him there. There is evidence that links you that you were there at that particular time, but you made it your business to say, no, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't remember where I went back then. I don't know who I was with back then, but I know whatever y'all trying to pin me on, I wasn't there. That's just crazy to me. Let's go on. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Watch any kind of crime shows or just news stories about crime or stuff like that? Cold case files, anything like that?
No.
Do you know about DNA?
Yeah.
DNA is actually just as positive, but not more positive fingerprints.
Right.
So, I can prove to literally 1 in 700 billion chances you were there. That's where we're at. I'm not asking you.
Right.
Okay? We're not asking you if you're there. Honestly.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's been 35 years.
Yeah.
It's been 35 years. This is the first time you've probably talked to the police about this. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
Right? Have you noticed anything unusual for the last couple of weeks?
No.
Nobody around you looked unusual, seen a bunch of police cars for no reason? Nothing like that? Felt like somebody was following you?
No.
No. Well, we haven't. The thing is that your DNA is at this site, right? On this person. It is nobody else's except yours. There's no other explanation. Right? It can't be a possibility of somebody else's DNA. Your DNA is at this scene. Dan, again, this is your life. This is probably freaking you out a little bit. Right? But listen to me. There's a story here, right? And either you can choose to give that story about what happened, the chain of events that led to what ultimately happened as to why we're here, and you have a part to play in that. If you don't, it starts to look pretty bad as to why you're not explaining it.
I don't
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I have never hurt anybody in my life. That's what's. I mean, I've had one night stands and stuff before, but it's like.
Have you had a one night stand with?
So the only problem with what he's doing right now, I never put a 1 in the chat. Did the detective say that this was a homicide case? Because that's not even how they even start off their interaction with him. They asked him about his criminal history, his indecent exposure, and his assault charge that he has a record for, right? And then they asked him about his whereabouts in reference to what he was doing back in 1984 on New Year's. And then they showed him a picture of a woman, right? They never said that it was a homicide. They never said that to him. So for him to now just say, I would never hurt anyone, you kind of just told on yourself, right? You kind of told on yourself that it had to deal with somebody being hurt and harmed around that time. And this is why we say that you need to get a lawyer, right? Even though, yeah, he definitely did it, Lord. You're absolutely right. He definitely did it. But this is why we definitely say you need to get a lawyer. Let's go on. This is turning out really bad for him. He doesn't and the funny thing is that he doesn't really even understand what's really going on. He thinks that because so much time has passed, almost 4 decades has passed, that he can, use that as the bridge to get him out of this, and it's not going to work.
With her before? No, I don't know her. I'm telling you, I cannot recognize her. I don't know the name. Dan, it's like you went back to school days.
The only reason you're not telling us that you know who she is because you're afraid that somehow we'll find out that you're responsible for her death. We already know that you are.
That's no way, man.
Just listen, right? This has been 35 years ago, right? This has been 35 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you haven't had to face this, right? And all of a sudden, one day you're at work, you run your work day, everything's fine, you're on your way home, all of a sudden you get pulled over an hour later in this room and we're telling you this. It's a shock. And totally normal human behavior to be defensive about. Nobody wants to admit, much like you sat there for a while and didn't want to admit that you had exposed yourself. We had to go through this whole process where you're like, nope, oh, well, yeah. Well, I did a little bit while I was peeing. And she said something, then I said something, and that was it. Oh, wait, no, there was another time. We went through that whole process with you, right?
Right.
We're starting it over again. But we're going to end up in the same place. Because we're not here by accident. I'm being honest with you. I don't really like playing games. Right? We've been doing this way too long. And I'm going to give you the information that you deserve to have. Right? So that you can make the right decision and tell your side of the story. Because I'm telling you, saying that you weren't there does not work. I can prove you were there. The question, the unknown is how it happened. What precipitated it? What were all the dynamics going on that led to that end result?
I can't answer that.
You not being there, it's not an acceptable answer because the evidence, the DNA, proves you were there without a doubt. This is going to make your world spin, right?
No, it just blows me away. That, I mean, I don't understand. I'm really confused.
Well, I'm a little bit confused too.
No, I mean, I don't know her. And I mean, I've never heard anybody.
I can believe you don't know her. Maybe you didn't know her beforehand.
So the tactic that the detectives are using right now is what we would call the ego up approach. It's when you try to humanize the suspect to let their guard down and feel that you are empathetic to them about whatever the situation is, right? So they say, oh, listen, something happened. This is your chance to tell your story. What happened? We don't want to put words in your mouth, right? But we're going to get over the fact that we have DNA that puts you at the scene of the crime. We know that you dealt with this woman. You might not necessarily had a relationship with this woman, but something happened to this woman. And when we found her body, she had your DNA on her. So here's the time, here is the opportunity to tell us what happened in your words and not us putting words in your mouth, right? It's to sympathize with him. Hey, listen, we make mistakes. You said that you was doing drugs at that time. You said that you was always drunk. You was a drunkard. You said that you was going through marital problems. This is your time to tell your story, right? That's the approach that they're using with him. Now, whether or not if he, accepts it and goes with it, we'll see while we continue to play out this video. But I just wanted to let y'all know that that is the approach that they're leading with right now, that they're giving him the opportunity to tell his story before they tell the story with the evidence. Let's go on.
I don't understand why you haven't been unless you knew her that night.
You knew very well. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I'll paint a little bit of this picture for you here, okay?
I mean, I've been.
So I've asked you about Elmcrest.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And so you're like, I don't know why.
The address says
I don't know why I said Elmcrest. I have no idea. I've got this there's a blank hole here where I don't understand why in 1985 I would have told the police that I lived on Elmcrest. I have no idea. That's what you're going to say. The problem is, Elmcrest is like a half a mile away from where this happened. I don't consider that a coincidence. No. So now you don't remember living half a mile away or giving an address a half a mile away from where this happened. And now, even though I am telling you, just like I told you, you told the police down there you lived on Elmcrest. And now I'm telling you the DNA proves that you were there, and you says, I don't remember. I don't know. And that's really not going to work for you. Because the scene, the evidence we have at the scene, paints a very ugly picture. This was not gentle. This is not an accident. And if you're going to let the evidence tell a story, it paints a very ugly picture. Your opportunity is to soften that. Because we understand there are other dynamics that go on. We're open to the fact, because we've heard it time and time again. We don't go into anything with a closed mind, because there's been too many times we go in thinking one thing and we walk out thinking something totally different, because then we hear the other side of the story. That's how we operate from experience. But I'm going to be honest with you, right? That's all I can do with you. My profession forces me to be honest. So I can be honest with you. But the evidence tells me you were there. What it doesn't say is how everything happened. And then there's also the concern that there's other things going on. Just like you're like, well, there's one incident where I was like, oh wait, there's one other incident where I didn't mess with me. Oh wait, there's another incident where I messed with me. There's that concern also. Right. But we all have to work with each other. We're here to work with you. Okay? It's all about, this is your side of the story. This is all about you. Yeah. And getting this out. But I can't put words in your mouth. I can't tell you what to say.
You're the only one that can do that.
Yeah, but I didn't take anybody.
So on New Year's Eve, 1984 to 1985.
I don't remember.
Explain to me then, Dan. Explain to me how your DNA ends up with this girl.
I have, unless it was I had sex with her or something. I don't know, a one-night stand or something like that. But after that, I don't, have any recollection of anything.
Why would you not have it? I mean, you lived in the area during this time, right?
I guess I did. I don't know.
1985. I mean, you
lived here, yeah.
Right. This was a pretty big deal back then. It's on the news.
I don't remember it.
So how?
I mean, I'm just.
How can your DNA end up with her?
Unless we had sex, that's the only reason. I don't know.
I'm not asking unless. I'm not asking you to theorize. I'm asking you to tell me because you were there. How did your DNA end up with her?
I was with her, I guess. I was with her.
I guess, and I'm not trying to.
But I don't remember her. I don't remember the name, the face means. I don't remember her.
Yeah.
But if you're in and out partying or something like that, I mean, it happened pretty regularly.
So, would you think, like we talked about earlier, that there's after 35 years, there's lots of things that are kind of vague in memories, except for the specific life events, like in 1986, right? 1985, excuse me, when the space shuttle blew up. I know exactly where I was standing when I heard it, because that's a significant event in my life, right? So you got significant events in your life that you remember exactly where you were, what you were doing when they happened. Don't you think that if you had sex with a girl, you were out partying New Year's Eve, you met a girl, you picked her up, you were in the car, right? You had sex with her, and then the next morning on the news, you find out she's dead. You'd remember that.
I would, yeah. Yeah, I would remember.
So that's the most.
I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't know.
That's the most innocent scenario I can give you.
Right.
Daniel continues digging his own grave by claiming that he had never met Tanya in his life. If Daniel were now to change his story and say, actually, yes, I did sleep with Tanya, he would appear even more guilty.
I don't know.
Do you think there was a time that you were, back then, were you drinking so much that you had
I don't remember. I don't forget. I mean, I've got a good memory.
Right. So you remember if you had sex with a girl the next day, she was on newspaper dead. Even if you didn't know who she was. You'd remember the next day when they put her picture in the paper 2 days later, go, oh my God, I was just having sex with her 2 nights ago on New Year's Eve.
I guess I would remember if I'd seen it.
I'm just trying to throw out some logical stuff there. Dan, I'm trying to help you out here. Because I'm telling you.
And this is why I said that he needed to get a lawyer, because it doesn't even make any sense. If you was one of those wild boys and you was able to have sex or have a one-night stand with a woman, especially on New Year's Eve, if the news come out that they found that the same woman that you had sex with was found dead, they put out, hey, if you know any whereabouts or if you know this person or anything like that, can you please come in and just speak with us around that time? You didn't do that. In fact, you want to deny that you lived 1.5 miles away where the incident took place, where they found this woman's body. You're trying to say, oh, I never lived there, where in fact, you did live there, right? You did live there at one point in time. Now you don't remember that. This is why they can't even believe you. They can't even believe you. You're not even going to be honest about where your home address was around the same at the time. You don't even want to know. You're not even going to tell them what bars and stuff or what you did on New Year's, who you was with. Then you lied about your criminal history of indecent exposure and drinking out in public and stuff. Like, you lied about that. So it's just like you keep on bringing things onto yourself, and it makes it seem like you're lying and you're not being forthcoming, and that they can't even trust anything that says, that is said out of your mouth. And you know me, I don't go against that. I would rather someone who is guilty, say whatever they need to say or say what they don't need to say and get the justice that they deserve if they commit a crime. But just think about let's just think about how a person can actually be innocent of something and they get caught up in this type of situation, right? Time went by, they didn't really know. Yeah, they was there, but it was, and then they go out and they say something, and the words that come out their mouth, since it's not put correctly, it can be used against them. Just think about ones who are innocent. Yes, this person is guilty, but let's think about someone who is innocent being put in this situation. How are they going to really be able to fight it? Right? How are they going to be able to fight it? If this woman was having sex with numerous of guys on New Year's and your DNA showed up on her as well as another guy's DNA showed up on her, but then this woman is unalive, like how are you really going to explain that self away? So you want to get ahead of these situations, right? Number one, wear condoms. Number two, if you hear something with a one night stand, get the girl name, get the girl first name, last name, if you possibly can, right? Keep track of, hey, listen, I really literally just left this girl after we had sex, whatever not, and I went home at such and such time. You want to do things to kind of like protect yourself. So if this situation happened, you can get ahead of it. You can go down to the police and say, hey, listen, this is all I know. And this is all my whereabouts with this girl when I was with this girl at this particular time. And I hope that you find out whatever happened to her. And this is a sorry situation. But when you sit up there and you run away or you kind of move to different states and stuff like that, you kind of look guilty in that as well, right? And then when you act like you ain't see on the news that they put out that this woman was unalived and how she was found and stuff like that, and then you want to say, nah, I ain't never knew the girl, I never met with the girl, or yeah, I mean, I might have slept with her, like when you do things like that, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good at all. Let's see, Flower says, he's digging his own grave with 2 shovels and a dynamite. Yes, absolutely. He's definitely is. And please listen to Miss Jalen. Hit the thumbs up. Support the channel. I truly appreciate it. And as always, I do have a membership. If you're interested in membership lives, I'm going to do a membership live tomorrow for my members. Just shout out to them. And I do also have a store. If you want to purchase any items for the channel, you can look at that if you're interested in that. But let's go on.
The picture that this evidence paints is not one that you want to go out there without an explanation. There's room there to mitigate some of that evidence, right? There's room there to make it look better than it looks right now.
It looks horrible.
But I can't fill in the blanks for you.
Right.
I wasn't there. I was a junior in high school. And I was in Key West, Florida. I wasn't even here. So I can't fill in those blanks. You're the only one. But you're the only one that can say it, Dan.
I can't. I mean, I'm right back where I was. Just say I don't recognize her. I don't remember being with anybody on the evening of was it New Year's? You said? I don't know, but it very well could have happened. It could have been whether it had sex or something. But I was with several friends. We would go out and stuff like that. I mean, there'd be a group of us. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we'd be. I can remember being at the beach and stuff, and you just go in the parking lot and you'd have sex, and then you go back in the bar. And 2 or 3 hours later, you'd go home or something.
Universal Mall parking lot. A lot of people used to use that parking lot because it's a huge parking lot, lots of dark corners.
Right.
Did you ever use that place to have sex?
No.
Never had sex there.
Not in the parking lot, no.
But at the beach, you would.
Well, not actually in the parking lot, but on the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah.
The detectives tell Daniel that if he doesn't explain why he was with Tanya, he will look like a monster and it will be worse for him in the end. Daniel decides to admit that not only did he know Tanya, he was with her the night she was murdered.
We're not feeling that with you.
I'm not a monster.
But you don't want to control us.
But it's...
You control the narrative on this.
Yeah. I was with her and stuff, but I didn't give her a ride home. And there was a group of us. Oh, God. Because I guess she lived over in Santa Rosa County or something. But Bobby Hicks and a guy named Ralph James, they were with me. There was a group of people I went to school with that were there. And we did have sex in the parking lot. And other than that, well, no, actually, it was at the house, I guess, too. Yeah, that's where John Pendergast lived.
Was that the house on Hillcrest?
I guess, yeah, that must have been Hillcrest.
So you were
That's the
living in the
address I don't recall. But I would stay with him every now and then.
Was he out with you that night?
No. He wasn't. Those are the guys they were. And came by the house. And but they left with her.
Well, tell us what happened.
I had sex with her.
Where'd you meet her?
I guess I met her at one of those bars.
It's crazy, right, Flower? She said, dang, now he's going to lay it out on his friend. Yeah. Now he's trying to convince them that it was his friends that probably did something for her. But you, in the beginning, you said that you didn't know her. You said that you don't remember being with her. All this. And then now is, yeah, I know her. Yeah, I had sex with her. Yeah, I was with these particular people that night. It's like, it doesn't look good, because that means that you was putting on a facade the whole entire time, acting like you had amnesia and you did not know about that night. But that's the reason why the detectives said what they said earlier about life events. Certain things in your life is things that you never forget and that you always remember. So if you did something like taking somebody's life, right, you're going to remember that. You're going to remember that. In fact, I will hope it will haunt your ass for the rest of your life. But you're going to remember those particular type of life events, right? People remember birthdays, anniversaries, New Year's celebrations. There's a couple more that I'm probably missing that people remember as life events, marriages, divorces, and deaths. So he thinks that by trying to throw his friends under the bus, but guess what? Your friend's DNA is not found, or wasn't found on that woman's body. Your DNA was found on that woman's body. So even if you're trying to portray that maybe your friends might have something to do with it, they would have been able to collect their DNA on anything. It wouldn't have to be their semen, right? It could have been fingerprints. It could have been hair follicles. You know what I'm saying? They could have found anything if those guys had anything to do with this woman's death at that time. But the only thing they found was your semen on her. So the whole trying to throw your friends under the bus is not going to work unless your friends knew that happened to her and they also helped you hide that you did that at that time. Because I'm thinking that when he did this in 1980s and 1984, 1985, he was a teenager. He was like a young adult, like maybe 20 years old, 21 years old, college kids, you know what I'm saying? And It's really sad. I mean, but I'm glad that, like, it seems like justice is about to be served, because this is someone who lost their life and their case been cold for almost 40 years. That nobody knew what happened to her. Her family didn't know what happened to her or anything. They just knew that her life was taken from her. And now they can finally close a case that they thought that was never going to be closed. Seriously. Let's see. If you can't forget killing someone, you have to, yeah. Exactly. Let's go on.
I don't remember the name of the bar, but it was
Where?
At University Mall. I don't know.
Was it Chance?
I wasn't at Chance. No, I can't remember. It was one of those bars. It wasn't Chance.
Was it a restaurant?
I can't recall if it was a restaurant and a bar.
Damn.
Yeah.
So be very careful, okay? Because, like we said before, you're trying to you're minimizing, and I understand that you're doing a lot of I guesses. I think when in reality, right?
Right.
I can already tell by the way you're acting that you almost feel relieved that you're telling some of this stuff because it's been bothering you. We hit that. 35 years you've been waiting for this day, and it's here now.
Right.
And it's hard, but you're going to get it off your chest. But you got to do it the right way, which is you remember the details.
Yeah.
So just tell us what happened. Tell us the details of what happened, and then we'll work through you with things.
It's been a while. I remember that her friends had left her, and she wanted a ride home. And, but we went by my house, and we had a few drinks and stuff, and it just escalated from that. She I just it knocked her out, and it was a traumatic blow, and it killed her.
Daniel finally admits that while Tanya was at his house, he attacked her and she would die from blunt force trauma to the head. Now that they have his confession, they need to find out why it happened.
What happened that made it get out of control?
I think we just got kind of an argument over something. I can't remember what it was.
What happened that made things get out of hand?
It wasn't something she said.
I don't know.
I mean, can we be real here? Did she comment on your sexual performance or something?
No. It was but it's.
Did she want to leave and you didn't want to leave yet?
Something like that. I don't remember.
And here we go again. Well, we're trying to get you to escape.
I can't remember. I just know
But you're the one that was there.
Right.
You said we got.
He's going back to being standoffish and defensive because he doesn't want to give the real truth why he decided to unalive this woman. And I'm thinking that the reason why he unalived this woman is because she probably told him no, or she probably did not want to have sex with him, and he probably forced himself on her. So he doesn't want a grape charge on added to the point that he also unalived this woman, right? Because then people can start looking back into history about any great cases that happened within that little county or that little town, and if he had anything to do with it. So he's being very standoffish on expressing why was the reason why that you unalived this woman. It wasn't because of no regular, some mediocre argument, right? Because if she wasn't your woman, she's not your girl or anything like that, you didn't know her, that was the first time you met her, you picked her up because she needed a ride. If that's the case, if she's giving you, potty mouth, kick her the fuck out the house. You know what I'm saying? kick her out the house, call her a cab. She don't have to stay there. You don't have no ties to her. So it doesn't make no sense to unalive someone over a argument when you literally can just remove them from your place of your home. You know what I'm saying? Your home, your place of business, whatever. She has no control of that. So yeah, I do believe that that's the reason why he's trying to not really give the real reason why he unalived her, outside of he wanted to, and outside of because he probably have grapey vibes. He probably was someone who have sexually assaulted numerous of people before, and he fears that if he lets them know that he had that tendency to do that, they will start going and snooping into history to see, hey, is any rape victims that kicks that we have, can we look and check and see if any DNA matches come back to him? That's what he's worried about. That is my opinion. It's not the truth, but that is what I'm getting from him. Let's go on.
I kind of into a little bit of an argument or whatever, and from drinking and stuff. It just kind of got out of hand.
You think?
I took her down the road.
In what?
In my vehicle.
Where'd you put her?
Just on the side of the road.
Daniel was arrested and charged with first-degree murder because prosecution believed that he had planned out his crime. 2 weeks after his arrest, Daniel's body would be found in his jail cell. When Tanya's son found out what had happened to Daniel, he called him a coward for not waiting until his trial had started. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time here on the Red Tree Stories YouTube channel.
Yeah, so as you see, Daniel was a punk, right? He knew all along that he committed that crime back into 1980s. He lived a very long life without getting the consequences for what he did to this woman, and he almost got away with it. If they did not pick up that cold case again, and those detectives was adamant in trying to close that case, then that woman would have never gotten justice. That woman's son would have never have gotten justice. And just to think that you was able to live out your life 35 plus years, and you could not even face one day of trial for the decisions that you made back in 1985. It's just truly disgusting. And her son is correct. You are a full-on coward. Full-on coward. Full-on coward. Well, because we try to keep it as PG-13, there is certain words that the good YouTube do not like to hear and use. So I try to stay away from those words. But I do still want to get the point across as in what he has done. But shout out to you, Edward. Shout out to you. Yeah, I don't understand how they came from first degree either. I was a little weird about that too, Flower, because it's like, to me, he would have to have motive that that's what he wanted to do for her a long, long time ago. So I don't know if they even have any evidence to show that he planned on killing this woman, and specifically this woman, right? I wouldn't have gotten first degree, but nonetheless, he was convicted and he was supposed to face trial for it, but he couldn't even do that. It is what it is. But prayers to that woman. Finally, her son was able to get justice to find out what happened to his mom. And it's sad that he had to wait until he's almost 40 years old to figure that out. It's really sad. No. Edward, I didn't take it as disrespectful. You were just asking a question. Shout out to you. Thank you. All right. So the next case I have for you good folks, and just make sure you're hitting the like button for me. It truly helps the channel. Please share this out to anyone who likes this immersive type of conversation, looking at these old cases. Truly appreciate it. And if you have any other cases that you want me to review, just put it in the comment section. I'll put it in my trusty book of what we're going to be looking at next. Until then, let's go on. So I have another case, and it's about a man named Andy. And apparently the man named Andy is a horrible liar. And trigger warning, this does have something to do with a young girl being harmed. That's all I know about it, but we're going to look at this and, like I said, trigger warning. If this is something that is very upsetting to you, please go ahead and take your time out. Come back when it's, it's more palatable for you, but I completely understand, right? All right, here we go.
With her mother, Chantel, and her mother's boyfriend, Andy McCauley. She had gone to bed the night before, and that was the last time anyone had ever seen her alive again.
Oh, sorry, buddy. They're going to bring the dog up to sniff around and see if they can get a trail on her, but I wouldn't mind talking to you for a minute if you got a minute.
Yep.
When's the last time you saw her?
Like 9, maybe 10-ish.
At night?
Yeah.
And what context was that?
She was here in the house with me. Well, grandma was here till like 7.
Okay.
I think it was 7:30. She left.
Okay.
The kids were here out with me.
Right.
She was at work till 10, I think it was. She got home.
Okay.
9:30, 10 o'clock. She got home.
Okay. And what time did she go to bed?
Me?
No, the girl.
She went to bed probably. Well, I don't know what time she went to bed, but she was. All the kids were in the room by like 9:30.
Okay.
The kids actually were here. Me, Ryder's here, Record was here. I was there.
Okay.
And she was upstairs.
She went upstairs. That's the last you saw her. Yeah. Did you see her leave in the morning?
No, I left 4. I got up 4 o'clock in the morning. Left 5.
Okay.
Go to work.
Yeah. Where are you working at now?
At Howard and Martinsburg doing construction.
Okay.
Andy appeared very nervous during his conversation with the police. Andy told the police that he had gone to work before Riley would have woken up, and her mother Chantel had also left for work early. When the police interviewed friends of Riley, they told them that perhaps Riley was scared of Andy, which is why she hasn't come home. This didn't make much sense because Riley's phone and her purse were both still in her room, and she was never seen without her phone. With little else to go on, the police went back to talk with Andy a second time.
I was going to talk to you without the mom around. Was there any kind of argument here last night?
No.
Or, the night before, anything?
No.
Any reason she would leave?
No.
Okay. Because the rumor going around, people telling us that she was afraid to come home. I don't know if that's, you know how people go sometimes.
No.
But
That was nothing like that.
Okay. So,
She wouldn't have to be her. I mean, they're
right.
They ain't like that. It's never like that.
He says nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Her mom wasn't even home.
Right.
She was at work.
No, you. They said that she got an argument
No.
with you and
No.
didn't want to come home.
No.
So, I don't know.
She was her grandma. You can ask her grandma. She was here doing dishes and everything. Her grandma was here till 7:30.
Okay.
Debbie.
Right.
Yeah. Everything was cool.
Anything that
Can help us.
can help
Yeah.
us.
I mean, if I had something to help you, I'd be doing it, bud. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we're waiting on her to get back now so we can go do this.
Okay.
For her and everything.
Sometimes it's part of our process.
Yeah.
When somebody comes missing like this, to ask everybody to take a polygraph just to make sure. You good with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No problem. You know what I mean?
We just have to bring somebody in. So.
Yeah. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything.
All right. Good.
Anything to help,
Okay.
brother.
I appreciate it.
You know that.
The police scheduled a polygraph test for Andy. The test would come back inconclusive, and the examiner would later find out that Andy was a drug addict and he had been under the influence during the test. After the test was done, the police interviewed Andy again. At first, Andy claimed that he had gone to bed, slept the entire night, and then woke up and went to work. When the police questioned him about this, his story suddenly changed, and he told them he had left on foot around 2 in the morning to go buy more drugs from his dealer.
Yeah, spacecraft, but
Yeah. Exactly.
at 2:30 in the morning, I don't know what to say. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that Andy went and got drugs for 2 reasons, right? One, he got drugs because he thought that the drugs would make him more calmer, right? When he took the polygraph test. And 2, he thought that it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be used or couldn't be used because he's under the influence, right? But we all know that, polygraph tests are not admissible in court anymore because they're not accurate, let alone whether or not if a person is under any form of drug or medication that can, make them answer in a certain type of way or give out the wrong readings, right? But I just thought that was kind of weird that you knew that you was going to take a polygraph test, and that the day that they decided to give a polygraph test, you made sure that you went and got some drugs. You made sure that you went and got some drugs, and now they have to interview you again. One of the things that stood out for me is about how he was very adamant in the beginning when they were showing the body cam footage about the child's whereabouts and how she was acting throughout the day. So then again, why is she missing? There shouldn't be no missing if she was just running around doing regular errands, washing her clothes and stuff like that. So, for him to say like he doesn't know and it doesn't seem like he went anywhere that day, it's just kind of alarming to me. It's giving off real type of vibes, but I want to hear what else he has to say. I just wanted to point out the fact that he went and got drugs before he took that polygraph test. He was like, I need something to calm these nerves, okay? All right, Bruce, good. I appreciate you. How was church, sir? How was church? Let's go on.
I don't drive. She won't let me drive. I don't drive nothing. I don't want to drive her car at all.
She mad at you?
She's not mad at me. She's mad at me for getting high. She's like, we wouldn't have been out at 2:30 in the morning, and we wouldn't have to be going through these steps. And now we can go back and help me search for her right now. And I'm stuck in here for fucking 2 hours. And then she'll be out there looking for her. You know what I mean?
When did you get to work that morning?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
So you made it back to the house by 4?
Yeah, literally. I was right there and back. I went there. I was supposed to get up at 4 o'clock. I woke up 2:30 feeling like shit. Couldn't have it.
Okay.
I went and got something that I wanted to get before I left to work at 4 o'clock. Well, I get up at 4 o'clock, leave at 5.
Okay.
I knew she was in there.
I asked you to look at terms of, do you know for a fact?
Good, bro.
That's why I said no. That's why I said no, because I didn't
You assume she's there.
Yeah, that's why I said no, because
But you also assume she went to her room.
Yes.
You don't know for a fact. Did you go in and talk to her?
I didn't go in
Did
her
you see
room.
her come out?
I'm for sure I see her shut the door and go in her room, but she went in there.
But you're downstairs. How'd you see her shut?
I was upstairs at first. Like I said,
Okay, that's what you've not.
it was all upstairs.
Cleared out.
Yeah, she did the dishes, then she did the fold the clothes, and then she went to her room. I went downstairs. Ryder and Riker kept on in the room.
The police searched Andy's phone, and they found dozens of phone calls and text messages to a family friend named Don Morgan at 2:30 in the morning. In these messages, Andy appeared very anxious and worried. He said things like, I need a place to stay for a couple hours, and I have something to talk to you about.
She was on 2:30. I'm almost positive 2:30.
What? I gotta ask you this. What were the texts between you and
Carmela Bug.
Don?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I like Victorian.
Morgan.
I like Victorian style home. So this is a Victorian home.
Was you home?
This home was built back in
Stop by Don's
1859.
at 2:30 in the morning.
Thank you. Shout out to you. Original wood. Original wood.
Bad.
Right.
Closure. And then I seen the cop and I was walking in that yard.
Okay.
Knocked the door like I was there, so I went walking the street, but shit was like.
So general police on patrol. You're talking
Do you remember which vehicle it was?
No,
city deputy.
it was state cop.
Don's up.
I think it was state cop.
Don's up on Ewing Street.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Okay.
probably what it was. Don's right up there. There's a state cop up there too, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the vehicle right there.
Okay.
So you're sort of ditching away. I'm missing. Yeah.
Andy claimed that on his way home from picking up his drugs, he saw a patrol car and he was worried he would be arrested. Andy would say that the lights were flashing, but the police were able to confirm that no stops were made around this time.
No, he don't do drugs or nothing. I just seen the cop, and I was wondering, he don't know how to do drugs either. The cop.
You would if you'd met him up that time.
I know,
probably
Flower.
would, but I was just trying to
That's
get.
why I was so happy when I was able to
I seen the
snag
cop
it up. I was
One of the
like,
texts was something like you need to talk to him about
I
something.
got all
Oh,
the
yeah, the
original
AC, I thought,
woodings and everything
I
from
talked
the
to him about it.
1800s. Yes.
Howard, my cousin Howard, he works for Robin. No, that was just an excuse to stop by there. But that's all the cop. That was my excuse.
So you'd already bought in the.
Yeah, all you had
It
is
was on.
It was on me. I seen the state cop car, and I went there.
Even though Andy's midnight drug run was suspicious, it was what he did the next day that would lead police to believe he was their guy. Andy stated that he went to work with 2 other men, and they worked together the entire day. What he didn't tell them was that halfway through the workday, he told his coworkers he had to leave, and he took their work vehicle, which was a green pickup truck. Andy didn't have a license and he never drove, so they found this to be very strange. He also did not return for over 4 hours, and during that time, neighbors claimed that they saw the exact same pickup truck backed up to Andy's home.
First thing.
So 2 things that stood out to me. One, how did you know that she did the dishes and she went back up to her room unless you was up there and you saw her go into her room, right? But you said you was downstairs. So you assuming that she went up to her room, that's just an assumption. Then now by them explaining that he went and took the job's vehicle, he doesn't have a license, so he normally never drives. He gets driven by his friends. You took the job vehicle to go home. Neighbors saw that vehicle at home. You was there for 4 hours. I don't know what job allows you to have a 4-hour lunch break. I'm just saying, but you had the vehicle for 4 hours doing whatever you was doing before you went back to work, right? So the problem is you try to play it off at, oh, listen, I was at work all day, but you didn't think that everybody was going to say, yeah, we saw you stop by, or we saw this green vehicle around the neighborhood at such and such time. You didn't expect that. And that's probably the reason why you took your job's vehicle also, right? Because everybody know in that neighborhood that you get driven around because you don't have a license. So they would not really be expecting you to be showing up in no green truck, right? And you use that as a camouflage to do whatever you did, or to even hide the body or get rid of the body or get rid of evidence. But the whole 4 hours, what was you doing for 4 hours? What did you need to do for 4 hours when you was actually supposed to be on work? You were supposed to be on the construction site or whatever site you worked on, but you was gone for 4 hours with the company's car. Those are really big things that he's going to have to explain. And I'm sure he's not really going to have a good explanation for it. And I do believe that he's going to try to harp on the fact that he is an addict to try to excuse his way out of this and make himself innocent, or he doesn't have any acknowledgement of what happened to the individual. But let's go on. I wanted to point those few things out.
Things first, like I already told you, you're here on your own free will. You can leave at any time. You understand that, right? Okay.
I'm Corporal Edwards at the Safe Place. How you doing? Not too bad.
Pretty much here to go over. Probably asked you a million times on some things, and there's some new things.
Yeah.
He knows Berkeley County. I don't.
I can't think of the name of the
Taylor.
Tabor Station. Yep, that's it.
Taylor Estates.
The Tabor Station. Yep, that's it. Yep.
All right. So who's all working that job site? You and anybody else? Just you two doing?
Just you that day.
Okay. What was your role that day? Like, what's your job duties?
Just we going in. We're doing trim.
Okay.
The final trim. Going in to do shoe mold, base, cabinets, shelving, door handles, all that.
Okay. So y'all do that. Do y'all have a typical lunchtime? Is it like when you feel like it, or
11, 12, whatever we feel like.
Okay. How long do you normally eat lunch?
About an hour. Roundabouts.
And then you go back to work?
You go back to work.
Or you just stay at the same job site? What time do you normally get home?
I think I got home 5:30. I think I got home 5:30, 6-ish.
Is that what time you got home that day?
Yeah, normal.
Okay. So y'all sound like, just so I understand, you're a tabler, you're doing your thing, you're doing trim, doing all that kind of good stuff. Y'all take your lunch at around 11, 12-ish, something like that. Y'all eat in the truck, like physically inside the cab, not in the back of the bed or anything like that. You packed a sandwich, you say roast beef? I just talked to Johnny, right? You saw him leaving. Okay. Would you be surprised if you told me something completely different?
Maybe.
Okay.
What do you say different?
Okay. This is one of these times you need to really sit down and think about what you're going to say. Okay. Because what he told me is complete opposite of what you just said. Okay? All it is. Okay? So do you want to rethink what you just told me? One thing I'm going to not do to you is lie to you. I promise you that. I will never lie to you. I'm not going to make up shit. Okay? Don't do that to me.
I'm not trying to.
Okay. You're not trying to. Let's try this again. Let's go back. I know it's been a couple days. I know a lot has happened. Okay, I get that. I understand that. Let's go back to Wednesday morning. Let's go through this again and tell me what happened.
Andy goes over the story again, saying the same thing, that he never left the job site. The detectives know that he left, and he went to his house and did not return for 4 hours, but they want to make sure Andy is sticking with his lie before they reveal the truth.
I think the rest of the day.
Okay.
I think the rest of the day.
Okay. Were you at that house the entire time fixing the shelves?
No.
Okay. Where were you at?
I was at the other house.
Okay.
I went and got some. I went and got some more drugs.
Okay.
Well, how do they know to randomly meet you in a parking lot?
Well, that day they didn't know to randomly meet me in the parking lot. I called them that day.
Okay. Listen, bud. You're not being honest. Okay. You're not being honest with us.
I know about the drugs.
Okay. There's a lot.
I don't want to give people's names out.
We're not arresting people.
This guy is hilarious. I love that the detectives is like, bruh, do you want to rephrase your statement, because you just told us that you only get an hour lunch. You said it was in this particular time, but then we have all these witnesses that saw you around your house at this time within 4 hours, and you're not authorized to take a 4 hours lunch break. So what was you doing that day that you took a 4 hour lunch break, and why did you take the company's car? Like, and he's sitting up there and he really wants to say the same thing all over again, but I don't think that this detective is buying it. He's like, no, please don't play around with me. Don't lie to me now. He's going a little harder on him because of the simple fact that, since he wants to act stupid and that he doesn't really understand what's really going on. And he tried to lead with the fact that he's a drug addict initially, about why he was up and at 2:30 in the morning going to go get a hit and this and that. But you was awake enough to go to work, and then you should only say that you was around from 11 to 12, and it was an hour break and stuff like that. Like, he's giving him the opportunity to come clean or to tell his story. But if you're going to continue to lie in his face, even though admitting that you only are supposed to get a 1 hour lunch break, but you took a 4 hour lunch break that day, and you don't have a license, but yet you was driving the vehicle and the vehicle was found around in your neighborhoods. Yeah, like, you're playing yourself. You're really playing yourself. But let's go on. See what else they have to say.
We're not here to arrest anybody for drugs.
Drug dealers on this, okay? What I tell you before, Riley, we're drug dealers. I would like to hope that in this hand you see your drug dealer friends, and over here is Riley, but yet these people here I want to close up and protect.
Okay, well, no, I don't want to protect them.
So you're down there for about an hour and a half?
Oh, you can check this out on Red Tree Stories, Red Tree Stories.
Okay. And then what happens?
We work the rest of the day.
Okay. And then what happens?
We went home.
Okay. And then what happens?
We got home, and Chantel says Riley's missing.
Okay.
And all that whole thing's loose.
Okay. What if I told you that I know you weren't that snowpale, and you didn't buy drugs off anybody that day? See what I'm getting at? Okay. We went from this story to this story, now we're going to get a third story. Okay? This is one of these times you really need to think of what you're telling me. Okay? Because you're not being honest. Remember what I told you about being honest?
Yeah.
I'm not going to just throw shit at you.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not here to do that to you. I'm not going to insult you in any way, shape, or form. Please don't do that to me. Okay? I know you weren't there. Okay? I I know you didn't buy drugs off your cousin, and I know you didn't use them in that parking lot
Yes,
that day.
Flower, that is exactly what I said. Thank you.
Where did you go when you left?
Went to my house to get the drugs.
Okay.
I already had them in my house.
Okay.
I already told Chantel.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to tell you I had them in my house.
So you left to drive back to get drugs, to come back to your job site. Okay. Where was she at when you went home?
Who?
Chantel.
She's at work.
Okay. So nobody's home at that time?
Nobody.
Okay. Where are drugs at in your house when you go back to get them?
Outside.
Where at?
Outside.
Whereabouts outside?
Right there by the, if you go underneath my little, there's a shed, underneath my little porch, there's some beds, frames sitting there, brown bed frames behind there.
Okay. So you go back home, you use your drugs, and then you go back to work, and then what?
That was it.
That was it.
Andy's first story is that he left to meet a dealer at a local gas station, and he had to wait almost 2 hours for him to arrive. Then he changes his story, and he says he went home to get the drugs, and then he went back to work for the rest of the day. This may explain why he was at his house, but why did it take 4 hours? The detective will now present Andy with another piece of evidence. Riley wore glasses, and her glasses were found in her bedroom. The reason the glasses stand out is because if a person with bad eyes left their home, they would usually wear their glasses. This means that Riley was most likely taken out of the home without her consent.
It's like really crazy to me, right? That the first story, you was at a Sunoco and you acting like Sunocos don't have cameras, right? They could see whether or not if you stop there. And then you said that you was there for 2 hours. Now, when that story didn't work, because obviously they went to the Sunoco that you told them that you was at, and they looked at the cameras and you weren't there, nor was this green vehicle. Now, supposedly you had drugs under some like makeshift thing that's at your house, that's right outside of the house. You just like, have a little compartment that's right outside of your house that you store your drugs at, and you smoked your drugs and you went back to work. And he really thinks that this is going to fly. He really thinks that actually makes sense. If that's the case, then why didn't you just take the drugs with you? You had an hour break, right? According to you, you get an hour break. You might as well have just kept it in your glove department, and then within that hour, go smoke that. It doesn't make sense that you would go run home, go smoke whatever, and then drive back. And even then, that doesn't take the extra 2 hours that you took, because remember, you was spotted being there for 4 hours, not 1, not 2, but 4 hours. And then what the video essayist said, if the young woman wears glasses, meaning she's not wearing glasses because she has a astigmatism, right? Like myself. Some days y'all see me with glasses and some days y'all don't see me with glasses. I have a astigmatism, right? So I usually wear glasses when I'm reading on the computer, even sometimes at night. I have to wear my glasses, right? Especially when my eyes hurt. This young lady, she wears glasses all the time, right? All the time. So if she ran off or she just wanted to run away, why would she run away without her glasses? Apparently, she's almost damn near blind without them. But they find her glasses in her room. And none of that is adding up to him. None of that is adding up to him whatsoever. And he's still trying to, harp on that, he wasn't there and that he doesn't know where she was. But you knew that, you assumed that she went to her room, and you saying that you never seen her go downstairs, you never seen her close the door. So that one time you only saw her do the dishes and go upstairs, and you don't know anything about nothing else. But even when he said with the initial story, and I want to point this out, even what he said with the initial story, he said that he left the house around 2:30 to go get some drugs. So when she washed the dishes and went upstairs, that was really around like in the evening per se. So you mean to tell me before you at 2:30 when you was up, you didn't see this girl leave the house? You didn't hear a door close. You didn't hear a window close. If let's say she tried to hop out the window or anything like that, you didn't hear nothing. And then 2:30, you just went to go get drugs and then come back. And then this whole entire time, this young girl didn't come back. It doesn't make any sense. And usually when it doesn't make any sense, it's not true. It's just definitely not true. But let's go on. Let's hear him lie some more.
So I'm telling you that. And I'm also telling you she doesn't have glasses on right now. Okay. And I'm also telling you that somebody that leaves a house to go somewhere puts the glasses on. Yeah. Okay, which is telling us that she probably didn't leave that house by herself. Okay, the glasses were left there, is what I'm getting at, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay, so why would somebody do that? What would make somebody leave a house and forget something that's, to me, just as vital as a cell phone nowadays?
She would have her glasses on. But she don't leave the house without her glasses.
Okay, did you see her leave the house?
No.
Then how do you know she had her glasses on?
That's what I'm saying. She would have her glasses on.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so for her to leave that house, you know that. You're telling me that she would have her glasses on.
She would.
Okay. So what happened this time that she doesn't have them on?
I don't know. I don't know that she didn't have her glasses on.
You know, do you see where I'm getting at with that? Somebody's not going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to wander out and not have glasses on.
Exactly.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes us believe that, you know, she had some help getting outside.
She should have her glasses on. I don't know.
Right.
She always has her glasses. What he said.
Okay. I'm just telling you the whole part about you being honest.
I'm being honest with you. I've been honest with you. I told you shit that I didn't even want to tell you.
Okay. You're being somewhat honest. I mean, we're doing some polling to get some information about some drug activity, which is us. I don't even give two shits about. But yet we're having trouble pulling that out of you.
Because I was worried about the names out there.
Okay, and I told you I don't care about that.
I didn't say that.
You told us about the drug activity, 2 nights ago?
I did.
Did I arrest you for it?
You didn't name or anything.
Yeah.
What do you and Chantel talk about? What she thinks going on?
We don't really know.
And y'all gotta talk a little bit. I would think, there's a lot going on, but, you know, what's she telling you?
We haven't really talked crazy much about it. It's looking.
How'd she feel about you going to get heroin that night?
She was not happy about it.
Yes, we are almost at 41,000. Shout out to
going back to the house
us.
and getting cocaine.
She was happy about it.
You know, the further this rolls out, you know, we're doing this, you know she just didn't disappear, right?
Yeah. Right. I know there's no way she would have been home by now.
Right, okay. You know, the further along this is, whatever happens, and whoever did this to her, the worse off it gets for that person too.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. So like I said, I know you came in here and you're trying to help the cause, you're trying to talk in, but like, understand we're doing our thing, and the more time that goes on, like I said, she's just not paying attention.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
And like I said, we're fairly certain she just didn't wander out of the house by herself and took a nature hike somewhere. You know, we're fairly certain that she was basically taken out of that house by somebody. Okay? We have very strong reason to believe that. So like I said, we have a very limited area in your home and a very limited amount of people that come in and out of your house.
Yes,
okay?
please like and subscribe.
So like I said, she just did nothing disappear. No, I don't do that either. Yeah, no, nobody does. I'm just, you know, just saying that. She just did nothing disappear. Pack her shit and roll out and go.
Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
There's certain things, you know, especially as a teenager, to have a phone with her. Maybe she had that with her. Maybe somebody wanted to have that phone with her, so that phone disappeared too. Okay? It's really convenient that her phone's with her and her phone's missing, which is pretty vital for a teenager, all of her communications. Maybe there's hidden communications that somebody didn't want somebody to see, but that phone's conveniently gone now. But yet her glasses are still at the house, and there's other important things at the house that a teenager would take. So like I said, she was probably taken out of that house by somebody.
Yeah, I feel something that she was taken, definitely, I feel, because she would be home by now. She would leave her mom.
She was taken from that house, is what I'm saying. Okay, she didn't wander off. Okay, she just didn't go out and wander down the road at 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock the next day. She just didn't do that. Okay, she didn't pack a bag and take her clothes, take her glasses, take a cell phone charger, take all of her money. She had most of her money. Someone's going to go.
Her money was still in the book bag.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, if someone's going to run away or do something, they're going to make a little bit better effort, even for a 15-year-old.
I agree.
For a 15-year-old kid, they're going to at least have the necessities. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay, they would.
I enjoy that the detective is explaining things to him because a lot of things doesn't make sense. When you're a runaway teenager, you run away with shit. Okay? The girl left everything, all her personal items, even her glasses, and you're expecting them to believe that she actually ran away. What the detective is leading on is that something happened to her and she was carried out of that house. She was removed out of that house if her remains is not there, if her body is not there, right? She did not do it willingly by herself. And he led with this whole thing as making her seem like she is some runaway teen. I'm glad that they're pointing this out, that everything in her room is still there. Everything that she would actually take to run away is still there, even to the point the money that she was saving is still there. What teenager is running away with no money? You know, like we have teenagers who run away who try to get money because they know they have to survive and they know they have to eat at one point of time in the day, right? But to leave all that and just to disappear. And then he also stated that this is against her nature. She would have never left the house without her glasses because she's pretty much blind without them. Her money in her book bag is still there. Those are personal items that she has always kept with her. So he already explained to them that, yes, these are things that out of her character. She had never left the house without these items. But you're the only one that has been found within the time frame where she's gone. You was the only one from this household that was around the house or even in the house, according to you, since you went go back to get your drug stash, the time that she went missing. And is not really clicking to him because he's still trying to hold this I don't know what's going on and I don't know her whereabouts situation, but it does not make sense. You can't say all these things that you say that you know about this young girl because you was raised with the, you've been in this house with this young girl for quite some time, so you know her mannerism, you know her style, but then try to say that she just abruptly just up and left and disappeared and left everything and did everything completely different than outside of what she normally do. And I don't know. I don't know if he's going to ever admit and confess. I don't think so. But truly, it seemed like the detectives have more than enough evidence to to put that charge on him in reference to her. But they want a confession from him because they do want to find this young girl, dead or alive, and they want to bring her justice. They want to let her mother know what happened to her daughter, right? And they also ask, what was the conversation that you've been having with her, with the mom, in reference of the daughter, And he was a little standoffish about that conversation too. It seemed like he's been sitting up there having conversations with the mom saying, your daughter ran away and I don't know what's wrong with her and whatever not. And I'm always a little harp on that too, when now all of a sudden the kid becomes like the problem child that you always have to worry about. She ain't never had a history of running away. She went to school. She was a regular normal kid, and then now all of a sudden she's not a normal kid. But you don't have no history of saying, yeah, she started doing or she started lashing out and being rebellious against us from this year and that year, or when she got a boyfriend and she got heartbroken. Like, you can't pinpoint why all of a sudden she would just uproot and just leave. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no background in why that would happen, but you want to paint the picture that that is what happened. instead of leaving it open to be like, listen, I don't really necessarily know what happened, and I'm trying to find out just as much as you because I'm concerned about this young girl's well-being. He didn't even seem concerned about her well-being when the detectives came with the body cam to ask about this missing girl. He's talking about, oh yeah, well, I was just sitting around and I had to do this and I had to go to work, and now after speaking with you guys, we're gonna go out there and try to find her. That doesn't sound like a concerning step parent, does it? It doesn't. It doesn't sound like a concerned step parent whatsoever. But let's go on. Let's go on.
They would have their clothes. They would have their money. They would sure as hell have a cell phone charger with them, and they would sure as hell have their glasses with them. Okay. So with that said, that's why we're getting back to she was taken from that house. Okay. And whoever took her out of that house didn't think to take those important things. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, you understand we have to talk to you.
Yeah, I understand. So I talk to me, that's why I'm here. That's why I've been here every time you asked me to be here. But I don't do nothing with the kid.
Where is she?
I don't know. If I knew, I would have her home for her mother. This is starting to get aggravating. I don't know what the kid is. If I did, I would have her home. They gotta have a drug problem that has nothing to do with this case.
People.
I don't know why you guys just keep pushing it. It has nothing to do with Rod. My drug problem. It has nothing to do with Rod. Yeah, it sucks. It does fall back. Yeah, I'm her stepdad. I shouldn't be doing drugs. Yeah, I understand all that. But that has nothing to do with Rod missing. You understand what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with Rod being missing. Me doing drugs.
No, you were, Jennifer? Oh, wow.
I don't understand why you guys keep pushing that.
What has to do with messing with her?
I don't know why she's missing. I have no clue. If I did, we have her home. I mean, we've been looking for the kid, and I'm wasting time being here when I should be out looking for her. You guys should be out looking for her.
Have you been out looking for her?
Yes, we've been out looking for her. We've been everywhere.
Okay, where have you been?
We've been to the cave, we've been to Cool Farm. We've been down this girl Kellis today already. We've been up and down through town, all the way down through the cave. We've been everywhere looking for her. Me and her mother. And then me and her grandfather today was out looking for her. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand why you guys keep bringing drugs up. It doesn't have anything to do with Raleigh.
Well, we both have seen drugs do bad stuff to people.
I've never seen drugs do called super.
No, absolutely. I've seen multiple people be killed over drugs.
I've seen a bad drug deal or something.
I've seen multiple home invasions where people get shot, stabbed.
Yeah, I understand that kind of stuff. I understand that kind of stuff, but not doing drugs. Not for me doing drugs. I'm going to kidnap my kid and
it's from people
harm her.
Drugs. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm telling you. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you. This is what I've seen.
Well, I'm telling you right now. No drugs ever going to make me harm my kids. I've been a drug addict since I was 28 years old. I've never harmed anyone. And I've been through the dirt, been through this shit. I've shot it. I've fucking done it all, and I've never harmed anyone. I've never harmed anyone. You look at my record. Only thing I never even stole anything to get drugs. I knew a criminal record like it. I have a criminal record by selling drugs. And then get caught with drugs. Not stealing, not harming people. Never, ever in my life have I harmed anyone.
She vanished, but what I'm saying is there's certain things that are just way out of line. The dog is a real big thing to me. Okay, somebody did not come into your home and take her out of that home.
If something happened in that house, that dog would have woke every one of us up.
Exactly, if the person wasn't supposed to be in there.
No matter who it was. Okay. If I would have did something wrong, that dog would have woke everybody in the house. That dog will not let anyone harm anyone in that house. If somebody would come in there and do something to me, if one of the kids were trying to harm me in that house, that dog would go off. Even that Chantel, that dog would not let anyone.
See, he doesn't understand that doesn't necessarily make sense, right? Now, I do get it. We have seen videos where if the dog is more close to the actual owner or even the children, if they even feel the slightest that you're showing any type of aggression towards them. They will use their body to block, to block them, or they will snap at you or bite you and stuff like that. I've seen those type of videos before, right? But what the detective is trying to let him know, if the dog knows you and they know that you're supposed to be there, and they know that you're supposed to be walking around and that you're talking with the people that's in the other people that's in the house, they're not going to really know whether or not if you harmed this person or if this person is being harmed by you, or what I'm saying. It also depends on the type of breed of dog, right? Because some dogs will run away, truly, right? If they seen something going on, they heard some crazy noise or something like that, they will kind of run away if they're scared. What he's trying to let him know is if the dog seen you coming in, he knows you, that's his dog, you feed him and stuff like that. He's not going to think any different if the girl is already unconscious or the girl is already unalive and you're just carrying her out. He's not going to start barking after that because there's no noise or no commotion being going on, right? So him trying to use the fact that, well, the dog would, if anybody came in the house, the dog would, yeah, that's if anybody is a stranger. But if you're the actual perpetrator that's literally inside the house, the dog is going to think that this is something abnormal. These are the people that have been in the house the whole entire time. These are the people that feed me. Yes, they scream in the house. Yes, they're doing whatever, in the house. Yes, they're slamming doors. These are sounds that they know, right? They might not be as alarm as you're trying to play it off that this dog is. And that's what the detective is trying to make him understand. Like, you cannot use the dog as an excuse, as in because the dog wasn't barking and acting like you was an intruder, that this is the reason why it had to be somebody else. You still have not even gave a good reason. Why would someone specifically come in the house during the day, right? Because we're talking about lunchtime, right? You were supposed to go to lunch at 11 o'clock. You didn't go back to work until 3 p.m. or when you were supposed to clock out, right? You was gone for 4 hours. So who is going to be scoping and watching the house to go in the house at this particular time to do whatever they did to this girl or kidnap this girl outside of the house? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to explain why. Who did this girl know for that to happen? And it takes a lot of guts for a kidnapping to happen during the day. A lot of people can't pull that off. And the funny thing about it is it can't be a kidnapping because the neighbor says that they saw a green truck around in the neighborhood, right? The truck that you was driving, they didn't see no regular other truck or random truck that's never been in the neighborhood before parked around the house. They didn't see that. And if they would have saw her being something as a body or anything being carried out looking lifeless, you think they wouldn't have called 911? So unless you can give more of that type of detail, like how was this happening during the afternoon, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But let's go on. Okay, let's see what some people said. I don't want to put. How you doing? Bruce said it's no different than you carrying in groceries and taking out the garbage. Right. No struggle, no dog reaction. Yeah, exactly. Let's go on.
No one get harmed in that house. No one. Me, Chantel, Riley, Riker, Ryder. None of us, nobody harmed anyone in that house. You're going to harm each other. Nobody come in the house and harm you. Don't let anything happen to anyone.
Right, unless the incident wasn't a very announced one. I'm not talking about banging shit and slamming tables and yelling and screaming. It could be a very subtle incident where a dog's not going to pick up on that.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying someone coming in and breaking shit and throwing MFs out and yelling and screaming.
I guess.
But if it's a subtle incident where there's not a lot of commotion, the dog might not pick up on that.
The next piece of evidence they have is that Riley had not only told her boyfriend that she was scared of Andy, but during a FaceTime session with him, she told him that Andy was in her room and she was afraid. The detectives will now present Andy with this information.
What if I told you her last text to her boyfriend? We're saying, don't talk, because she still has the FaceTime one. Andy's in here. I'm afraid.
That's what it said.
What if I told you that?
I would say that's crazy.
100%.
I would say that's crazy. There's no reason Riley would ever be scared of me. She never was scared of me, ever.
I can put my hand on the Bible and tell you I saw those texts today.
Well, I like to see him because I know Riley ain't scared of me. I know she ain't.
Not only that, she said
Hey,
you were in here.
love, it's good to see you, darling. How
because the
are
FaceTime was
you?
still
Hope your day is going well.
I was never in her room.
That's not what she's saying.
I don't know. I was never in her room. I don't go in her room. Once in a while, I'll go in her room, but not hardly ever.
Then why would she say that?
I don't know. Unless she wasn't in her room. She might have been in my room doing folding clothes at that point.
No, this is way past your 9:30 time frame.
I was downstairs at after 9:30, so.
Andy, I'm not lying to you.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. I was not in her room, for one. And for two, the kid's not scared of me. There's no reason for her to be scared of me. I've been there in her life for 1.5 years. Take care of her, give her everything she needs.
But what we're saying, like, I get that, I hear you, but what we're saying is that's what she's saying. So obviously to her, she's afraid of something. I hear what you're saying, like, I don't understand it, I don't get it, and I totally get that, but for some reason she is, and she's saying that, and I told you that a while back.
Oh, thank you, dear. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment.
Mother will tell you that it's not true.
You are beautiful as well.
I'm telling you, I read that with my own eyes today.
I don't know. I know.
So you see where that puts us.
Yeah, I understand, but the kid's not scared of me. I don't understand how you guys can say that. That she's not. That's your grandmother.
That's what she is saying.
She's saying that's why we're saying that. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors when, you and Chantel are there, or Chantel and Riley are there, or all three of you are there, or just you and Riley, or Riley and the two kids. You know what I'm saying? We're not behind closed doors. We don't know, situations, who does what. We don't know, okay? But obviously, in her mind, she's afraid of you. Would you agree it doesn't make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all.
So does she have any reason to say that?
No.
Then why would she say that?
I don't know.
Is she vindictful towards you? Does she hate you?
No. She don't hate me. She loves me.
That's what I'm asking you. I don't know that. Does she argue with you?
No, ever. We have
never cuss at you, curse you out, nothing?
Never, nothing. In 1.5 years, nothing.
Okay, so it sounds like to me she does love you so hardly.
Yes.
Okay, so why would she say that?
I don't know.
To the level, let's talk about it. I truly appreciate you.
In 1.5 years, we have not had one conflict.
And shout out to our new member.
Me and the boy,
How are you?
There's never been anything, like you said, 1.5 years or the last several weeks, several months, several days, nothing that's, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one time she wanted this and I told her no. Maybe she got mad and she's
nothing.
Her age and she blows it out of proportion.
Not that I can say I know, I remember.
Okay.
But you see where that puts us, right?
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you guys are. I'm not mad that you guys are doing your job.
I mean, that's the last message he has from her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not that you guys are doing your job. I know you're doing your job, but there's nothing I can think of.
Because, I mean, her messages are deleted. You deleted all your messages, But he still has this, and that's the last thing we have.
I don't know.
I mean, you want us to do our job. That's what we're doing.
I'm asking you your job. I'm not mad. You guys don't know. Guys, I think get a little pissed off, but nothing. There's nothing I can think of. She would be mad at me for, or she would be upset at me, or scared of me, or anything with me.
You didn't go in that room?
No.
I mean, she still had FaceTime one too.
Okay, well, I was in that room.
Before they let Andy go, they ask him for his shoes so they can run some tests on them. Andy doesn't like this, and he makes sure to let them know.
All right, Andy. I want to know if you'll give your shoes up.
My shoes?
Yeah.
You want me a pair to wear?
Well, do you have another pair?
No, it's the only pair of shoes I got.
So I wanted to stop there. Like, Andy is such a horrible liar, right? And the simple fact, I'm glad that they told him that the messages that they're talking about is what was sent to her boyfriend. So the last thing that was sent to her boyfriend was Andy was in her room. She was scared. And that she was supposed to be heading over to meet her boyfriend. So again, if she was going to run away, right? Why is none of that being in messages when it comes down to her and her boyfriend? Her boyfriend would know if she was planning on running away, right? Usually, if kids are going to run away, they're going to run away to elope. Maybe the boyfriend was going with her. So obviously, she wasn't in like, oh, I'm going to run away, and she broke up with her boyfriend and she's like, I'm done with it all, and I hate life and everything, and I'm going to run away. She wasn't like that, right? And she made it known to her boyfriend about how uncomfortable she was of Andy. Andy has probably went in her room numerous of times, and he probably have been under the influence of drugs before. Now, we all saw the picture of that young girl. That young girl is beautiful. She's youthful. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's pretty much the younger version of her mom. I mean, outside, I'm not trying to say that all men do this, but it just seemed like, what was the reason for you even being in her room, Andy? You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to be in her room. And if, let's say, you was in her room because maybe she could have been starting to take drugs, and you was concerned about that, you being a off and on addict, why go in her room by herself? Why not go in the room with her mom, have the conversation with her, with the moms, letting her know, hey, listen, this is not the right way to go. But the simple fact, she expressed that she did have some fear. And for him to act like, what? She's afraid of me. I've been with her for a year and a half. She loved me. She loved me. I haven't been in a room. Okay, but the day before the day that she supposedly went missing, the boyfriend got a message saying that your ass was in her fucking room. And he really want to act like he doesn't even know why she would write that. It doesn't make no sense for her to sit up there and lie to her boyfriend. Listen, I'm supposed to be heading out to come meet up with you, but Andy's in my room and I'm afraid. It doesn't make no sense. And if that's the case, if you want to paint it as she's vindictive and she's trying to get you in trouble with the law, she had a whole year and a half to do that. She had a whole year and a half to quote unquote set you up. But that's not the case. That's not what happened here. And I do understand sometimes that does happen. Like, you know, if the kids don't like you and all the stuff like that. But listen, we're going to believe kids, all right? We're going to believe kids when they say things, because they're not just saying things all the time just out the asshole and just to be petty and spiteful and stuff like that. Sometimes there's things that are making kids uncomfortable, and we have to acknowledge that. It's not always just these kids just want to lie about. No, sometimes there's things that are actually happening. It might not have gotten that far, but that doesn't mean that the being uncomfortable situation never took place. And now they're going to ask him for his shoes, because you can tell whether or not if he was in her fucking room with his sneakers. Because when they test her carpet or they test the footprints that's in her room, if your freaking sneakers or your soles is found to be in there, that means you're a liar, that I didn't go in her room. And case is closed. Case is closed. Gonna be after that. Let's see. Flower said, did I miss something? Where is her mom? So apparently her mom was at work at that time. And I don't know where her mom is now. But I do agree. The mom being this very scarce. But I think that we're only just getting the interview process because they have enough evidence to know that Andy is their guy. And this is the only reason why, you know, she's not a main focal point on this, because we're only dealing with the interrogation that led up to him getting convicted for her her missing, probably being sexually assaulted and unalived. That's what we're just looking at right now. But let's go on. Let's see what happens.
It's the only pair. You don't got no more?
Take off the shoes, guys. Take the shoes.
You want me to take you home?
No, I'll walk home with no shoes.
All right. Door? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Is that door locked? Hold on, check. He told me to take him home and take his shoes.
Oh, okay.
The police believe that Andy had gone to his home to pick up the body and dispose of it somewhere else. For the next week, the police found a trail of surveillance footage of Andy's green truck from the moment he left his home to his final destination over 28 miles away. The police began searching the area near the last time the green truck was seen, and just off a dirt road, they would find Riley's body. Not only did they find her body, but next to it, they found bolts that matched the same ones found in Andy's tool belt, and they also found sheetrock dust that was also found all over the back of the green truck. Just in case Andy's lawyers wanted to claim that it was not him driving the truck, the police also had footage of Andy entering a gas station near where the body had been found at the time it would have been disposed of. Needless to say, Andy was charged and convicted of first-degree murder, and he will be spending the rest of his life in prison. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments below.
Andy, what a horrible liar and what a cruel son of a gun you are to do that to that young girl, right? That's just despicable. You quote unquote call yourself being a stepfather and all the stuff like that. Like, how do you do that, right? Like, how do you do that? Like, and you living in this woman's house and you sitting up there consoling this woman about where her daughter is and try to paint her daughter as some problematic teenager who ran away, when all actuality, if anything, she should have ran away from your fucking ass, right? Because you was the one that was was an issue. It's like, come on, like this, like why? It's unnecessary. And the funny thing about it is the mother was beautiful too. Like that just didn't make any sense to me. Like, the mom looks good. She has you in the house living with her. The daughter's beautiful. Okay. The mom is allowing you staying with her knowing that you're a drug addict and that you've done drugs before. You know what I'm saying? Like, why, if you really just start to just, map out the process of why certain people do certain things, it really doesn't make any sense because it was not a benefit at all. It wasn't a benefit at all. Like, now you're going to spend life in prison, far worse than the situation. And then you talking about you being an addict. You ain't gonna get no damn help for being no addict in there. You're gonna be even more addicted to whatever is going on in prison, K2, all that lace shit, whatever not. And now you're gonna have to deal with a big bat named Brady, who's gonna be your cellmate. That's what you're gonna have to deal with, because you don't know when no means no. You don't know when you shouldn't be going down this particular path. This is not it. This is not the right way. It serves you right. Serve you right. Definitely does. It's disgusting. It's just really, really disgusting. Lord said, then let him play in the face like, oh my God. Alex said, bro, get a healthier hobby. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess, yeah. Horrible human being, yeah. Bring integrity back says, DV victim myself. He makes me feel like the guilty one. How do I feel like with that? Yeah, that's just terrible. Listen, the anxiety is going to take time. I mean, it doesn't go away, especially if you're a DV victim. It never goes away. It's just that you get better coping skills and coping mechanisms to help you deal with the trauma that you have dealt with. But it doesn't go away. And anybody telling you that it does go away, they're lying to you. You just learn to live and understand and process the things that have happened to you. All right, so I got one more case for you good folks, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Make sure you're hitting the like button for me. Please, please, please hit the like button for me. It really does help the channel. It really does keep me in the algorithm. Please share this channel out. if you like these reviews of these cases, okay? And if you have any case that you want me to go over or put on my little trusty list of cases that we're going to talk about later on, just drop it down in the comment and I will add it, okay? All right. So the last and final case that I have for you guys is about a man named David. So a man named David thinks that he was going to outsmart the police, and we all know that eventually they tend to break down in interrogation, especially the ones who come in there very egotistically. Like they think that they know all the clues, they know how the detectives and investigators are going to approach them. And we always tend to find out that eventually they slip up, or eventually once the heat gets put on them with the harder questions, that all that machismo starts to wear down and they start to tell on themselves. So we're going to look at this right now, and let me pull it up for you guys, and here we go. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Who do you think?
That's why I asked the question.
We'll talk about it at the headquarters, okay?
This is 44-year-old David Anthony. David is about to be questioned by the police regarding the disappearance of his wife, 51-year-old Gretchen Anthony. Gretchen met Anthony back in 2015 at a local gym that Anthony worked at in Abacoa, Florida. They quickly got married, and from the outside looking in, they seemed like the perfect couple.
Violence.
Fast forward to 2019. The couple petitioned for divorce, and Anthony would move in with his mother in Palm Beach County. Gretchen continued living her life until the worldwide pandemic hit in early 2020. Gretchen would inform her friends and family that she had contracted the virus, so she planned on quarantining herself for the foreseeable future. Her family began to worry because Gretchen would only respond with text messages, and she never answered their phone calls. They decided to call the police and request a welfare check. When the police entered Gretchen's home, she was nowhere to be found.
We were assigned a case last Thursday, okay? We've been investigating this case Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, up until today, okay? Mm-hmm. We have obtained enough evidence to obtain a warrant for your arrest for murder, okay? I want you to understand that.
She's alive.
I want you to understand that. And what's most important to us right now is to find out where she is.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to tell you where she is.
Okay.
But I don't have that information. You have to ask her.
You have to ask her? Okay. So listen. I told you that we've been working since Thursday. There's a team of 10 detectives who are working. We worked every single day, almost all day and all night. Okay? There were search warrants written, and we gathered a lot of information that I'm sure you're not aware of. Okay, and I want to let you know that.
What information?
There was a neighbor.
See, my eyes hurt. An old lady here. Had to put the glasses on.
On Saturday morning at 6:30. Who lives across the way. I want you to think about that real quick.
What incident?
The incident that occurred at Gretchen's home.
You have to give me more information.
Okay.
When the police arrived on scene, they noticed that Gretchen's home smelled like cleaning supplies, and a large amount of soap had leaked under her garage and onto her driveway. They also found evidence that a violent struggle had taken place inside the home. One of Gretchen's neighbors told the police that she had heard screaming coming from Gretchen's home. After hearing the scream, the neighbor took pictures of a black pickup truck parked in the driveway. The truck was the same pickup truck that Anthony drove every day.
There is a neighbor who observed her driveway covered.
Did y'all guys see that driveway? That whole thing was bleached like crazy. You could just see like all the bleach stain that was like kind of rinsed down, going down in a downward way. Like And you could tell, you could see the color difference was crazy. The color difference is crazy. And then it's good that then they spoke to the neighbor, and the neighbor said that they saw his vehicle there. So now he can't deny that whatever happened in that house where all this cleaning fluid and the smell of bleach is leaking out, that the neighbors can't even smell it, from their home, your vehicle was there. So you knew about the smelling of the bleach. You knew about whatever was going down the driveway. You were there. Your vehicle was there. You were there. So the whole denying about you not knowing that, you can't even use that. So now let's cut it short and let's get to the real conversation that needs to be had in this interrogation, right? Let's go on.
In a bleach or cleaning product, drenched, coming out of the driveway, coming down the driveway and out of the garage.
Hey Hayden, how you doing? We're going over this
case
about David.
That's what I'm asking.
And it has something to do with his significant other. Shout out to you.
Your vehicle on that morning, your Nissan black truck.
Oh,
with
great.
Thank
you so much, Bring Integrity back. I appreciate you.
And with the bicycle.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I would love your intake, on this.
Gretchen's home, Saturday morning at 6:30 in the morning when this incident occurred.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, WW.
What does that mean?
Thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Were you at Gretchen's residence last Saturday?
Yeah.
At 6:30 in the morning?
You told me they stole my vehicle, so.
I did. I'm asking you to be truthful with us.
Well, I'm asking you to explore all options, that's all. This is what...
It's good to see you catch up with you, Hayden. It's been a long time. I remember your name.
You have the ex-husband involved. She's... she likes sex, she likes drugs.
Patico, how are you?
At one point, she
the
mentioned
background of this is something happened to his significant other.
She's got notes. You have the safe.
He was the last person around that happened. So now they're just doing the interrogation process.
And if you have her phone and unlocked her
Hi,
phone,
Madonna. I'm still saying your name correctly.
Why do you have her phone?
Madonna, how you doing?
So I have her phone. She had her phone.
Yes.
So she was
absolutely
traveling
right.
with me.
I know today. Yes, absolutely.
Up until El Paso.
Body language is very important.
And then what happened?
Someone hacked her account. Someone was searching her phone. So.
Well, if you were with her in El Paso, how did you become not to be with her?
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
We were driving
Thank
vehicle,
you so much for the compliment. I appreciate you.
What car was she driving?
I'm not. Like I said, I'm going to protect her and her whereabouts because everyone can be bought. And as much as I know you guys are doing your job, I don't know. I've seen the other end of manipulation of information to skew and or to try to shape an objective. And so.
After Anthony's pickup was seen at Gretchen's house, he packed up most of his belongings and he began driving across the country. On the way, he was caught on surveillance footage selling Gretchen's jewelry to several different pawn shops. Anthony made it as far as New Mexico before the police finally caught him.
So going back to Saturday morning, were you at her home Saturday morning?
You said you saw my vehicle there, so.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. If this is the case, and if you're afraid that they might take anything that you're going to say and fabricate it to fit whatever narrative they need to get a conviction, then stop the interrogation. That is in your right, and contact a lawyer, which we preach on this channel all the time. It doesn't matter if you're guilty. It doesn't matter if you're innocent. Please go get a lawyer. This is something that you should not go through by yourself, right? You don't really understand why they're asking the questions that they're asking. You don't understand why they're approaching you the way that they're approaching you. You really don't know. Even when you think you know, you still don't know. We just saw it in the last video that we were just watching. They asked this guy in the last video certain questions about the young girl's mannerism and what she does. He let them know that she's blind. He let them know that, you know, she washes dishes, so she does chores and all that stuff like that, right? She wasn't a runaway. And that came from his own mouth. And this is from the last video that we was just watching. And if she's completely blind, she wouldn't leave her house without her glasses. So this is why we say, go get legal advice. Speak with your lawyer. Get counsel for them. Have them phrase things for you properly, right? Because even when you think you're doing yourself, telling the truth and you're helping yourself, you're really not. You can let little things that will fall out and it will make them believe, okay, well, that gave me more evidence or convinced me even more that you might know what happened. You're just not smarter than the average bear. These are people who are experts in what they do. So go get an expert. Go get an expert. Like, seriously, just go get an expert. Because even when he's doing right now, like, he's staying very calm, but his mannerisms and like his body language shows too much, right? He's not trying to tell too much. And then he kept on saying that he's trying to protect the woman. Well, they're looking for the woman. You saying that you want to protect her, but they're looking for the woman right now. They caught you trying to sell her jewelry and stuff like that. Not her. They didn't see her in your vehicle and y'all both walked to the pawn shop and sold her stuff. So it's not like she's trying to do a fake missing persons case. They're asking you because you was there when the house was being bleached, as if they were trying to get rid of something, get rid of a smell, get rid of a stain, whatever. Not your vehicle was there. Then you was saw on camera going to a pawn shop selling her jewelry, not your jewelry, right? This is the reason why you're being brought in to ask these questions. So I don't even understand why he keep on saying, well, I want to be careful with what I say because I'm trying to protect her. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see. No Pino today is, I'm new here, just looking for some case conversation without so much drama. Okay, great. I hope you enjoy it, sir or ma'am. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure from your avatar, so I hope I'm not offending you. And see, 1 minute and I can say 100. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Truly, yeah. No matter how much bleach she used, it won't hide blood from the limb. Yeah. Hi, Miss P. She said, uh-oh. Right. Yes. Ask for a lawyer. We preach this here. Ask for a lawyer. Doesn't matter if you're guilty or you're innocent. Ask for a lawyer. Yes. Consultation is key. Absolutely. All too often, they don't interest. They don't that interest and wonder what they know get you caught up. Yeah, exactly. You don't really know. And they have strategic ways to frame things correctly that will get you to say what they need you to say. So it's just like, please don't think that you're going to go to a mental battle and a mental war with these individuals, especially these particular type of detectives and investigators. This is what their whole life career was all on, understanding the psyche of human beings. Right? And they even know who they're talking to. Like, so that's why every interrogation don't look the same, nor does it end up the same way, because they have already studied you before they even got you into that office to understand somewhat about your character and how they need to present evidence to you, when they need to present evidence to you, and how they need to approach you for you to start confessing or giving them more evidence. They have already did that homework before they got there. And I don't know how many times I have to explain that to people. This is why don't even go in there with your ego thinking that you're going to be doing anything. Go get proper help. Innocent or guilty, always ask for legal counsel. Absolutely, absolutely. Flower says, save a buck and go to jail. Oh, yeah. LSR 69 says many are narcissists and they think they, yes, absolutely. You're 100%. Yes, true. You know what's so funny? The last poll or the last report that I read, they said in the US alone, 20% of our adult population is actually narcissists. 20%. That's a huge number, right? And this is not talking about the ones who are diagnosed, the ones who are actually diagnosed to have a that type of personality disorder. I'm talking about in general, high ratings of traits. 20% of the US adult population is narcissists. Let's see. Don't try to save a bug. Get a counsel. Public defender is better than speaking okay. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And you have the possession of her stuff. Right. Exactly. No defending to Miss Jalen. Absolutely not. No. She said, oh, okay. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me know. All right. Oh, Lord. Come on, GT. Come on, man. All right. Yeah. Absolutely. They know before you don't. Forget that. They have the upper hand to get you. Yes, it's absolutely. Yes, please. Yes. Just tell anybody. Just make sure everybody just go get a lawyer. Don't even do this, right?
Oh, I'm asking you. I understand what you're asking me, but you like I said, shaping a narrative. So.
Okay.
So what happened after you got her back?
Not really. There's a difference between being a narcissist and actually being on the spectrum of social personality.
So I'm asking you, what happened?
After?
Everyone in the world has a hint of narcissism.
I can shape the fact that your vehicle was there, you were there. I can't shape the fact of what Kelly just asked. What were you doing there?
Yeah, it's between me and her. I'm husband and wife, so I can enact that right.
Okay, I realize that. Were you there the entire weekend?
You said you saw my vehicle, so yeah. As far as my whereabouts are concerned.
Gretchen's home has cameras throughout it. Were you aware of that?
Anthony claims that he didn't know there were cameras installed in Gretchen's home. The police find this very strange because those same cameras caught Anthony loading items into his vehicle, and then he removed several of the cameras mounted on the wall. Anthony didn't realize that whatever the cameras recorded was stored on a website, not on the cameras themselves.
Because they're in your car.
What are?
Her cameras.
No, they're not.
The blank cameras?
There's blank cameras in your truck.
They're mine.
Okay. They're yours because they came from Gretchen's house, or they're yours because you bought them somewhere else?
They're mine.
They're yours. There's video of you, David, at Gretchen's home on the morning of Saturday, last Saturday at 6:30 a.m.
You said they saw my vehicle there. So.
Yeah, it's not just your vehicle there. There's video inside her home when you made contact with her that morning, when you met with her. And that video shows something other than a pleasant interaction. Do you remember that?
Not this time.
You don't remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of concerned, right? So she had all those cameras at her house. he said, oh, well, y'all said that my vehicle was there, so okay. So you telling me you didn't remember that she had all those vehicles? Oh, not vehicles, all those cameras, and you were literally caught putting things in your vehicle, the same vehicle that you said that, you know, since they're telling you that it was there, that you just have to admit to it. Like, sir, why was you moving stuff in your vehicle at Gretchen's house? So again, I'm thinking that this is her husband. This is not your husband. This is your significant other. Obviously, it seems like you don't live with her, but you still had access to her house, meaning you had a key. So why are you in her house moving anything without her being there? Like that's just like, you know, that's raised a red flag to me. Why were you there moving anything? So I'm wondering if he did do anything. They said that, you know, someone said that she was alive. Now, I don't know if it was him who said that she was alive, but I'm hoping that this is one of those cases where the victim is alive and they get to tell their own story. I really enjoy those type of cases than actually hearing that the person is not alive and they never, you know, get to tell their story and we have to have a justice be served type of moment. I prefer that these individuals be alive, but we'll go on. We'll go on. There's just a little bit too much that's going on here. There's a little bit too much. He's all on camera. He can't even deny that was him. And then now when they ask you, what was you moving in there? What was the pieces that you was moving in there? Did even Gretchen know about this? It's like, this is crazy to me.
David, we really don't need you to tell us what happened because we already know what happened.
It doesn't matter to us. We have that. We have what happened.
Then what
we need to do
what are we doing?
is find her.
And what are we doing?
He's telling you.
Well,
we know what happened because the video tells us what happened, right?
Okay.
But
so let's get past that.
So what happened? So what happened?
You killed her.
I told you what happened.
I've told you this numerous times. She's still alive.
There are no signs of life of Gretchen. 0 signs of life of Gretchen.
Thank you. Shout out to Alabama. Thank you.
No,
she would never leave her daughter.
Never.
David, we know she's dead.
We all know she's dead, and you know she's dead.
We're just trying to help Ava out.
Then what are we doing here?
Exactly what we asked. What the thing that I asked you when we first sat down here is to find the location.
If you have all the information that you need, then I don't know what else.
Ava would like for you to tell her where her mother's buried.
Don't use Ava in this.
We are. You see that little girl right there? I want you to look at her.
I love her
Look
dearly.
at her. I know you do.
You know,
look at her real good.
Then why would I ever hurt her mother?
Maybe it was an accident.
Maybe, exactly.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it started off as a fight, and I don't know.
Her?
No, because
she's the only reason.
She's the only reason.
I was the one who taught her how to ride a bicycle and shoot a hoop and use her awareness.
Awesome. Yep, and that's awesome.
Then do what's right for her.
I would never hurt her.
Not Ava.
I would never hurt either one of them.
Well, you're hurting her indirectly by not letting us know where her mom is.
You have to ask her.
We can't ask her. She's dead.
She's dead.
You pronounced her dead.
Ava's a nervous wreck right now. She can't sleep. She can't eat.
Do not use Ava.
You know, we are.
Okay.
Because that's what's left.
Well, she doesn't have to worry because her mother is still alive. That's what
she is
telling
not
you.
alive.
Is it me or is David tripping, right? I don't know now if whether or not if he's trying to go to an insanity plea, but he is so convinced that the mom is alive. So again, if the mom is alive, why weren't you out there trying to find her? Why was you out there selling her stuff to a pawn shop? Why was you selling her stuff instead of, consoling her daughter that you're trying to convince these detectives that she was willing to leave, and just up and leave like that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And he continues to keep on saying she's alive. And they're telling her, no, bro, she's not. She's not alive. We just need to know where she is. So that means that they have a video inside her house of what he did to her. They just don't know where the body is. And he's sitting up there trying to make it seem like she was okay when he left and wanted to go pawn her stuff. Like, this is getting really, really crazy. Like, it's like David, obviously we know you're not okay, but bro, what, like, really, what's going on here? Like, that doesn't even sound right. It doesn't even sound right at all. And he got his hands, let's see, it looks like his hands could be handcuffed to the chair behind his back, possibly. And if that's the case, then they kind of feel that he's dangerous or he's a flight risk. I am also paying attention to how the detectives are sitting. They're sitting with him as they're both facing him in a kind of like a triangle situation. The door, however, is not in his peripheral. It's like more towards behind him, so he can't really see it. And they have one of those double glassed windows where somebody's actually viewing into the interrogation room, but he can't really see out of it. That's what's in front of him. But yeah, he sounds really trippy, man. He sounds very trippy, talking about this lady is alive. How do you know she's alive? If you don't even know what happened to her, how do you know that she's alive? Let's go on.
She just wants to know where her mom is, David.
You have to ask Gretchen.
Well, we can't, because she's not here.
She's dead. She is not with us anymore.
The police have everything but video footage of the incident taking place and the location of Gretchen's body. The evidence they have was enough to charge him with murder, but what they really need is a confession. Before Anthony was brought in, he sent the detectives an elaborate email explaining that Gretchen had discovered that the company she worked for was involved in illegal activities. He claimed that she was on the run because she feared for her life.
No problem.
How long have you known her? How long have you been in her life?
You've done the research.
10 years?
You've done the research.
So you don't care about her?
Questions you already know.
So you don't care about her?
Oh, wow.
You're asking questions you
I
already
gotta
know.
look
Right,
that
I
one
know
up.
that you do. So why won't you help her?
Do
Do you know how screwed up this little girl is going to be growing up, not knowing or having any closure about what happened with her mom?
You have no idea.
Bro,
I do have an idea. I deal with victims,
crazy.
families, victims every day.
I appreciate you. I
She's still
appreciate
alive.
you.
You don't have to worry about it.
What makes
thank
you
you so
think
much
she's
for
still
sharing
alive?
me out.
She's not on the
Definitely
Sun Pass video when
appreciate
she
you.
followed you.
Pretty-
You have her
pretty
phone.
appreciate
You sent the text messages. You guys, you planted her car at Jupiter Medical
look
Center
into
because
that.
you're on
Thank you
video
so
doing
much.
it.
We have all that information.
She had me do it.
No. No way.
She's screaming for her life on that.
Screaming bloody murder as the neighbor described it. You can hear it in the video.
When you put your
Why
hand,
didn't you call the police?
Because she didn't. And that woman has to live with that. You know that? That's unfortunate. And I feel bad for that woman. Because that woman has to know.
Nothing happened to Gretchen.
That woman has to know.
You put your hand over her mouth
She's
and
still
dragged
alive.
her into the garage.
It's on video,
She's
David.
still alive.
You might want to think back, David, because you don't want to face the facts of what you did.
I was trying to warn her.
Okay, you put your
I was
hand
trying to warn her.
over her mouth
I was trying to warn her.
as you dragged her into the garage, then leached down the
Right,
driveway.
I have all that.
But unfortunately for you, the cadaver dog hit on the garage, and we found blood spatter. So there's no way that she's alive. You murdered her in that garage, and Ava would like to know where you put her mom.
Gretchen's still alive.
Do you really believe that?
No, she's not, David.
She is.
You believe that, truly?
I made contact with her 2 days ago.
No.
You didn't.
Oh, you
I
didn't.
didn't.
How?
Tell us.
Let me tell you.
How?
You said you did, so prove it.
No, I'm not gonna, I have no idea who you're working for. Zero.
I work for the Jupiter Police Department.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not homie trying to use the conspiracy motive as in this is all one big conspiracy with so many people hands in it, and I can't talk to you and I can't speak to you. Who do you work for? Who do you not him trying to use that, like, who do you work for? What is this? Is this CIA? Huh? Who are you? Are you mercenaries? Like, dude, like, this is okay. I just can't. Listen, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, people should feel that they're valuable, important, and special. But the lengths that people try to make themselves seem so important, it just reeks of pure ego, right? And unwarranted pure ego, right? Like, I'm not saying that she didn't have issues with her job or anything. That's here and there. But I don't know that anything that she probably found that she was going to expose would put her to the situation that they would come and do a whole covert mission to unalive this woman before that, right? Like, she's like, I don't know, like, I didn't hear that she was like a judge or something, you know. He didn't even talk about whether or not if her company was one of those multi-billion or multi-trillion dollar company that she worked for, that she was going to leak, like, you know, leak things and stuff like that. Like, this is not WikiLeaks, right? And he's really going with this whole conspiracy method. And these detectives is like, dude, you were home when this situation happened and the neighbors heard her screaming to her lungs. There was nobody else there. So it's just like, at this point, dude, who you working for? Oh my God. At this point, who are you working for? Did you unalive her for this said company? Did they pay you? Are you the mercenary? Huh? Did they get in your head and say that you have to make this go away? Like, cause like, honestly, like, come on, like, I don't like, people who should even be that valuable don't even be thinking like that. Like, it takes money, time, energy, and stuff like that. And the ones who really want that to happen, the way how to have it really clean and done, they would not be messy like this. If this was like some real big conspiracy thing, like she was about to expose that this company poisoned a whole county or state with their products, right? They're going to be very clean with it, right? They're going to hire cleaners, right? The cleanup crew. That they're going to make sure there is no evidence that's going to link them back to it. None whatsoever. And they're going to get rid of anybody who had any involvement, anyone who's on that case, anyone that can tell anything. They will even get rid of the people that they work with just to make sure that it never goes out. Like, I don't know. I'll say this. If y'all ain't never seen a good movie, if y'all want to have understand a good movie of what I'm talking about, a good movie that y'all need to look at is the one with George Clooney in it, and it's called Michael Clayton, right? And it's literally the prime example about what this guy is trying to lead it on. And just to make a long story short, in the movie Michael Clayton, which I love that movie, right? In the movie, he's a cleaner. The guys that I was talking about, he's a cleanup guy. He's a fixer, right? He was hired by a law firm. So when law firms need to get things done for high profile cases and stuff like that, they'll have people go, fixers to go get extra information, go run up on people, get extra evidence, anything that's going to help their case, right? And he got paid a lot of money for it. Now, in this particular story, they were going against this big company who was feeding a whole town, and the whole town ended up having cancer because of the seeds. And one of the witnesses was a young girl. She was 20 years old. She was really sick, and she used to be like a real good cheerleader and stuff like that. She was really, really sick, and she was there to be a witness that it was their products and what they were putting in their products in the soil that was seeping into the system, the water systems of that town, and was poisoning and killing people off. This was supposed to be a multi-billion dollar case, and the company wanted to settle it only for like $20 million, right? And Michael Keaton and this other lawyer was supposed to help it and bring it all out and expose them, and they were supposed to, get, charged and all the stuff like that. And the lady who was playing it, I forgot her name. She's a really good actress, but the lady who was playing it, she actually hired some killers to actually kill the lawyer in his house without anybody knowing, and made it look like it was an accident because she could not afford for this settlement to go into actual criminal court because it was a civil court issue. It's a great movie. Long story short, but it's a great movie. Go watch it. If y'all like type of movies like that, I like movies that make you think. I like movies that don't just tell you plan out everything from beginning to end of how everything's going to play out. I like who leaves little Easter eggs and make you think. So if you like those type of movies, go check out Michael Clayton. Very good movie. Very good movie. Anyway, let's go on. I'm so sorry. I get into my thing and I apologize. See, Challenge Life says police are not obligated to provide protection for citizens while duty or off. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Y2 Kimberly, how are you doing? Can you imagine the gaslighting he's capable of? Yes, like crazy. Oh, Miss P, I'm not the only one. You know that movie. Yeah. Good. I thought I was talking about myself. You see, my oldness is coming out. It's a great movie. Yeah, I really do enjoy it. Flower said, I think we should just find one of those narcissists. Yeah. Let's see. Conspiratorial said, if I had $1 every time a killer said they knew what happened but couldn't take about it for reasons unknown, I'll be a millionaire. Bruce said, like the movie. Yes, exactly. Like Aaron Brockovich. Yes, absolutely. Yes, exactly like that. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you, dear. I hope everything's well with you. Thank you for stopping by. Good evening. And I love Aaron Brockovich too. I really do. I do. But I'm telling my age. Let's go on. I'm sorry. Let's go on. Let's hear what you have to say.
And you know what?
I can be bought.
No,
you can't be bought. Everyone can be bought. You can't be bought.
David.
I'm going to protect her, so.
Well, you can protect her all you want, but she's dead. And she is dead. And you're being arrested for her murder. And Ava will never forgive you.
And she will never, she might not ever find out where her mother is.
Let me check for you, Southern. I can
the
check
last
right now.
possible thing that you can do for that little girl is give her closure.
Yeah, she's still alive. No, she is not. You were on video grabbing her and dragging her into the garage of that home.
And I just want to say before I continue on, shout out to my bro, Mr. Freezy. I truly appreciate you. He gave me a $20 Cash App today. Thank you so much, bro. I truly appreciate you. Please, mods, can you put No Cap with Freezy's channel in the chat for me? He's a great content creator. He has great hot topics. I do enjoy going to hear his take on certain things, and I truly appreciate you, boy. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 Cash App. Appreciate it. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I give my thank you, because I always appreciate any type of support that anybody shows me, even with a like. I truly appreciate you. Let's go on.
There's video of her lifeless body laying on the ground and you in the background cleaning up. And now that would now she is dead, and now she is left with to pick up the pieces. She is left dealing with this. She is the one dealing with it.
Well,
soon as Gretchen finishes her whistleblower case, Gretchen's not going to finish anything. Gretchen is dead.
And she's safe.
David, what part of we have the whole Blink video are you not understanding? What part of blood spatter all over the garage and the Zephyr Hills bottle and you rearranging the garage and the cadaver dog hitting and the neighbors hearing it and you being on camera putting your hand over her mouth and dragging her?
As she's screaming for her life.
And then the whole cleanup with the bleach and the pavers and the sprayer and the bleach and you throwing away the tiles. What? She's not alive.
She's not alive. She is dead.
If you want to believe that because that makes you feel better,
she's still alive.
Then you go ahead and believe that.
You can continue believing that. But this one, she might not know what happened to her mom or where she ended up. She doesn't know yet where her mom is.
She's in El Paso.
No, she's not in El Paso.
Her dead body was laying on the garage floor. So you can't get past that. You can't get past the video evidence that you thought you were going to erase from her phone, but you didn't.
One video's watching you smash it with a hammer, while the other one's watching you do that. There was video still there, David. It's there. I just want you to understand that. It is there.
Okay.
It is there. She is not alive. That story it's false. It's not true. We know it's not true, and that's fine. That's fine. But the bottom line is, she doesn't know where her mother is right now. She doesn't know.
What are you afraid of? Like, your life can't get any worse right now, right? So why are you hanging on to the story that she's still alive?
She's still alive.
Like Kelly said, how worse can it get?
Gretchen's in El Paso right now.
No, she's not in El Paso.
And unless she moved.
She's not in El Paso.
David, there is nothing that you can say that is going to change that evidence, that is going to change that Blink video. Nothing. That's why we're sitting here.
Right.
Right? We all know she's dead. We all know she's dead.
I don't know she's dead.
Well, we're telling you she's dead. You killed her.
You killed her then.
It's on video.
No, you killed her.
You putting your hand.
You killed her?
Yo, he's driving me insane, man. Like, they're literally saying that on her phone, on the victim's phone, she has it connected to the cameras in her house. So even though he tried to delete the videos in the house, she had all the backup of the video feed on her phone. So they saw her body. They saw her. They saw him strangling her or putting his hands on her. They saw these things. And he's really trying to convince himself that she's still alive and that she's in El Paso. And even to the point, he was bold enough to say that, oh, if she's dead, then y'all killed her. What? Like, this is not the movies, bro. Like, this is not the movies. I don't understand how you really thought that this was going to fly. And you just randomly just giving out towns saying where she at. Then how do you know that she's in El Paso? He said that he spoke to her 2 days ago. Really? So they have your phone. Your phone is confiscated. They obviously don't see no calls or any messages from her to you from the last 2 days ago. So, like, I don't know if he's trying to go with the insane bid, right? That he had a moment of, a moment of rage or, or something like that, and he lost it. I don't know, but you're not really doing a good job. And then also trying to pin it on the detectives, saying that they must have did something to her. Like, they're literally trying to find out where her body is so they can give her daughter justice in knowing where her mom is, and so she can get a funeral and stuff like that. If that was the case, they would have had already made it, made it so. So this would have been a done deal. he's really trying to go. He's really trying to hold on to it for dear life. Like, she's alive. She's alive. She's in El Paso. She's alive. Oh, if she's not alive, you did it. Dude, we ain't never put our hands on her. We ain't never met this woman before. Well, I know she's alive. What, dude, we saw you strangling her. No, but she's still alive though. Dude, we saw her on the ground in the driveway. No, but she's still alive though. Like, give me a break. Like, David, stop. Like, please.
You putting your hand on her mouth and dragging
she's
it.
Still alive. What else do I have to? She's still alive. I made contact with her 2 days ago.
So you dropped her body in El Paso? You picked up her dead body and dropped it in El Paso?
She is in El Paso right now. I made contact with her 2 days ago.
How?
Email.
What email? You have her phone.
I don't have her phone.
Yes,
you have her phone.
Right, you're right.
You have her phone, right.
Which we found in your truck.
Right.
Right.
Which she sent me along with because someone had hacked into her iCloud account and was tracking her, and she wants to be hidden.
You hit her somewhere.
Well, that's the narrative that you're going to try to play.
It's not, because I have it on video. I have you on video killing her.
Okay.
So there is no narrative. It's black and white.
You don't have video of me killing her.
Anthony knows that they don't have video footage of the murder itself because there were no cameras in the room where it happened. There is the chance that maybe he missed a camera, but Anthony realizes that if there really was footage, the detectives wouldn't be working so hard to get his confession. Hoping they are lying, Anthony decides to call their bluff.
How do you know what we have?
Show it to me.
I just told you.
Show it to me.
You just dragged her.
Show me the video. Show me the video.
Her dead body.
Show me the video.
Her dead body is right
Show
there.
me the video.
I know that it exists.
Okay, then show it to me.
All you want.
Show it to me.
Here. Okay?
Show it to me. Then show it to me.
We brought the pictures, David.
I showed you the pictures.
Okay. Picture doesn't tell anything.
Well, I'm telling you it exists.
It shows that you confronted.
If I was them, I would ask him, what did you do with the gloves? If you saw the video that they just showed of him packing whatever he was packing in his vehicle, he had green gloves on. What did you do with the surgical gloves? Because I bet you those surgical gloves would have her DNA on it, wouldn't it?
To her on the porch, and she came outside her back patio and said, "What are you doing?"
She's still alive.
David, we would like to be able to tell the judge that you cooperated with us and at least gave Ava some closure and told her where her mother was. But you continuously denying that she's still alive and she's El Paso, when that doesn't even make sense, because we have her car, we have you planting the car, we have you on the SunPass cameras, and she's not with you.
So then what do we do? Like, what do we do? You have all the video. You have all
the reason why we are here is to find where her mother is located. Where her mother's deceased body is located.
She's in El Paso.
That's why we're here. You just asked why we're here, and I told you point blank. What we are here is to find out where her deceased mother's body is.
So you've already declared her deceased?
Yeah.
You've declared her deceased?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though she's still alive?
She's not
alive.
Do you know what a cadaver dog is?
Tell me.
Detects deceased people, decom.
Human remains.
Right. That dog hid in the garage, walked around that garage, laid it down in a spot, saying that he found something. And what we found...
Animals could be wrong, right?
...was her blood spatter.
There's blood.
Her blood's not wrong.
There's coagulated blood all over the ground.
Animals can be wrong, right?
Her DNA is wrong? That's her blood?
Oh my God, he's killing me, yo. He's killing me. Yes, Flower, this guy is something else. He is truly something else. He really is. Oh, yes, in El Paso, right. Just in El Paso. You spoke to her 2 days ago. You know that she's in El Paso, but you don't know where, right? Don't even know if she's eating. Don't even know nothing else. You just know that she's in El Paso, though. Is he the girl's boyfriend? Oh, no, he's her supposedly husband or significant other. I don't know. to me, the way how he's making it seem like he's some crazy loony bin co-worker, and that he has all the insight of this conspiracy theory that her company been putting a hit out on her because she was supposed to be exposing something about this company, and that she just wanted to get away. But if she wanted to get away, why did you take her life? Right? If there was people attacking her and threatening her life, why aren't any of those individual or potential individuals, why are they not being seen with her, attacking her in her house? Why it wasn't one of these individuals' vehicle looked as suspicious being on the corner where her house is with all these cameras? No, why is it only you? And why do we see you on camera selling her stuff to a pawn shop? Your vehicle being there when there was blood splatter and bleach splatter all over the driveway to get rid of the blood and all the stuff like that, right? Why do we see a video of you in her garage putting her stuff in your car, and you're also doing it with surgical gloves? Why do we see that? But we don't see these imaginary individuals that's coming to get her from her job. We don't see any of these people. It's just terrible, man. It's really terrible. That's a horrible human being, really.
David, are you sure it's her DNA?
Yeah.
It's going to be, yes.
You know how we compare DNA? We take a swab from the blood on the ground. We compared it to her razor, to her toothbrush, to her hairbrush.
So you said you haven't done it yet. Now you're saying you have done it. So you guys
she's
are
telling you how it's done, David. David, do not put words in her mouth.
You guys are doing the
She's
same
telling
thing.
you how it's done.
You guys are doing the same thing again.
No, you're doing the same thing.
You're lying like you did before, and you're lying like you did before. So
You're not lying, David.
No, nobody's lying.
I said she's dead, and the cadaver dog hit on it.
I don't trust you. You guys lie.
You don't trust the video?
You cannot trust us all you want, David.
The videos. Show me the video.
There's just still pictures taken from the video.
The detectives make a mistake when one of them says that they matched the blood to Gretchen's DNA, but the other one claims that they haven't done the tests yet, but he believes they will match. Anthony picks up on this and he uses it against the detectives.
She's still alive.
And yet you have no evidence to prove that. Right?
It's not on me to prove it.
You're right, because we proved she's dead.
We proved she's not here.
If you prove she's dead, then what are we doing?
We just said that. What are we doing? The number one thing we said we were doing when we first came in here, you keep saying that, then what are we doing? David, what are we doing? We're trying to find out where her mother is.
Try to create a narrative.
No, we're not lying anything.
She's still alive.
No, she's not. We asked, you keep asking the same question.
So
what are we doing here?
So do you guys.
What are we doing
One
here?
question.
You guys keep asking the same question.
One question is all we have.
The same question.
The same question, exactly, because you haven't answered it.
I have the right to not say anything regarding her.
The wife that you guys are getting divorced and that you've been separated.
But we're not.
That's not what I said. I said getting divorced.
But we're not. So
and
I still have rights as a husband and wife.
And you were separated.
I still have rights as a husband and wife.
And you killed her.
And I've given you as much information as I have. I've been cooperative up to this point, and now you're trying to frame murder on me. So
no, we're not framing. You're getting charged.
We're telling you.
You are.
You're charged.
We're telling you, buddy.
Fine.
No framing.
Okay.
No framing.
All right.
So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna walk out of here and call Ava and tell her that you refuse to cooperate and that you don't love her enough to give her closure.
Her dad has already warped her mind so much.
That has nothing
Take your dad out of this.
Oh, what? Take your dad out of it. Her dad is part of it.
We're talking about her.
Her dad is part of it.
We're talking about that little girl. That little girl, not her dad.
Her dad is part of it.
No, we're talking about her, not her dad.
You know she's been worried sick about her mother. She knows that we were coming up here.
Gretchen provided updates when she could.
Ava knew we were coming up here to
the whole way on
talk
this
to
trip,
you.
Gretchen.
There's no record of her being at the hospital. That was all crap.
So you don't think she's sought alternate treatment somewhere else?
No.
But in the
She doesn't trust the regular. She doesn't trust the regular hospital system.
In the CDC
she's an alternative
facility
healing.
in Belgrade.
She's in essential oils.
In the Belgrade receiving facility where you told all of her parents she was?
That's the information she gave me.
No.
So back to enacting my rights as husband and wife. So
what?
There was no record of her being at any hospital for COVID-19.
Okay.
Zero record.
Doesn't mean anything.
It sure does.
Doesn't mean anything.
So you
Sure
agree
does.
you made it up because she wanted you to?
Doesn't mean anything. Once again, husband and wife, I can enact that privilege.
Yeah, that privilege doesn't really even exist.
Oh my God, what the hell is he talking about? So like, dude, like his was getting on my nerve about this man, right? Don't talk about you want to enact husband and wife privileges when your sole job, one of your sole job is to protect your wife. How is you protecting your wife if your wife had to quote unquote leave town and become a missing person? Like, make this make sense to me, okay? You're that much of a protector that your wife had to leave town, leave her daughter, leave you, and go hide out. You want them to really believe that you're doing this or you're saying this because you're really protecting her. You're not protecting her. You're not protecting her. You're protecting yourself. And you think that you're going to pull on husband and wife privilege of whatever y'all console amongst each other is the reason why you can't disclose what you did to your wife? The audacity of this guy. Ain't no husband talking about, yeah, I'm protecting my wife because I have her all hide out and her own daughter don't even know where the hell she is. I don't even know where she is. She's just in El Paso somewhere. Like, come on. Like, I can't believe he even used that stance, really. Like, that's really sad. That's just really sad because if that's the case, if you're protecting her, why wouldn't you protect her daughter? I mean, obviously that's you're the stepfather. Why wouldn't you protect the daughter too? If anybody's going after her, don't you think that the next person that they're going to attack is the closest people to her? If they can't get to her, that's how it normally goes, right? That would mean that you're in danger. That would mean her daughter's in danger. So wouldn't you remove the whole family if you was going to be a protector? Wouldn't y'all all uproot and leave? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. David. He's a special one.
But, okay. That still doesn't get away from the fact that we have the Blink video of you putting your hand.
You said it. You said it. But she's alive.
You know what? I'm just going to go call Eva and tell her that you're not cooperating. We'll see how she feels about that.
All right.
David, we didn't come up here
to frame me?
No, we didn't come up here to give you a BS story. Okay? We came up here to find out where this little girl's mom is, find out where Gretchen's mom is. I'm sorry, to find out where Ava's mother is.
Gretchen's mom?
We'll find out where Ava's mother, Gretchen, is. My apologies, I twisted my tongue.
You do that a lot. They all do.
One of the detectives leaves the room while the other decides to talk with Anthony in a more friendly manner. Their conversation goes off topic as they talk about everything from public speaking to solar panels that provide electricity. Eventually, the conversation becomes more heated than it was before.
Well, you lied before, so I really can't trust what you say anymore, Jared.
A bullshit lie about an email to get a ruse.
Yeah.
It's not a lie.
That's
called a ruse.
Okay. Oh, is that the legal? Is that the legal? Is that the law enforcement ruse?
No, that's
you guys ruse all the time. You're rusing right now. You're rusing right now.
I'm not rusing.
Losing or rusing?
Rusing. You were in Pensacola, pawning that jewelry, and she's nowhere to be seen. She's not around. It's because she's not alive. David, she's not there.
That's a ruse.
You need to understand that.
Stop
she is not
me.
there.
You're rusing me.
You think this is a joke.
I don't.
You know what? No, you think it's a joke.
Nope.
You think this whole thing's a joke.
Nope, it's serious.
No, it's very serious.
That's what you just said.
You think this is a joke?
It's a ruse right now.
Yeah. You think you're a funny guy?
I don't.
No, you are because you're acting like it.
I'm not.
You're going to be seen.
You want to twist my words?
No.
You're trying to twist my words. You are. You're twisting my words.
How you can talk like that? You're acting like a child right now.
Okay. Just like that wasn't Ava. Just like that wasn't Ava. That Ava doesn't think that I'm a monster.
Well, you are a monster.
That had nothing to do with it. That Viking utility didn't have nothing to do with it.
You are a monster.
You're not even doing your homework, man.
Monster for
do your homework, Jared.
You are a monster
do your
for what
homework.
you did. And everybody is going to look at you like that. All those people who supported you, all those people who got you out of jail.
They already do.
All the people, no.
They already do.
No, they don't.
They already do.
You don't think I haven't talked to some people?
And you're not gonna paint a picture of me looking great anyway. So what does it fucking matter, bro? Come on.
No.
Come on, bro.
They are going to look at you as a monster now.
Don't ruse me anymore, Jared.
If that's the way you want to be seen,
I'm already seen like that.
For the rest of your life.
Even though she's alive.
No, she's not alive. You keep thinking that. That's not true. You know it's not true.
What you're saying is not true.
No, it's not. No. She is not alive. You can tell that little girl where her mother is. You have the opportunity to do that right now.
She's in El Paso.
If she's in El Paso, she's not alive in El Paso. No, she's not alive in El Paso. You can keep telling.
Have you checked El Paso?
Have I checked El Paso?
Yeah, right. How do you know?
Because she's not alive.
How do you know?
Because of the video.
You haven't checked El Paso. How do you know?
You can keep talking.
That's what I'm trying to say. You haven't done your homework, Jared.
No, it's called deflecting. You keep talking about other things.
Do your homework.
There is
Viking utility.
No, there is a crime that occurred.
She's filing a whistleblower act against Viking utility.
You can keep doing that, and you can keep hiding from the truth.
I'm just telling you.
You can keep hiding from the truth, David.
You want me to cooperate, I've cooperated, and that's what I'm telling you.
You can keep hiding from the truth.
It is the truth. It's not hiding from the truth. It is the truth.
You can keep hiding from what the actual truth is. She is not alive. She is deceased.
You're rusing me.
No, she is deceased. So you're going to be viewed as a monster animal by all these people.
They already do.
People who care about you.
They already do.
People who
and you're not
going
to paint a picture of me looking great anyway, so what does it matter, man?
Well, unfortunately, the evidence doesn't paint a picture. It's not me painting the picture. Like I told you before, this isn't personal to me. None of this is personal to me. It's not about me.
Well, it is to me, Jared.
It's not about me.
It is to me, Jared.
It's about the other. It's about the little girl.
That's my life, Jared.
I understand.
No, you don't understand.
It is your life.
You don't understand. You don't understand at all.
I don't, because I'm not in a position.
Right.
You are exactly right.
You don't. You have no idea. Zero.
I have zero. 100%. You are right.
Zero.
Hey, but you are correct, and
Zero.
I don't understand what's going on with you. It's because I'm not you.
And I'm not you, Jared.
David is holding on to dear life with this conspiracy theory and trying to get away with it. And what I'm reading from this interrogation, he is very concerned about his reputation, right? You can see that he's starting to get weared down. It's already like an hour and 41 minutes into this interrogation that he's going through. He's getting tired, he's hungry, and he's really realizing it's not sticking. But you can definitely tell that his reputation is something that's very important to him. Even more important than the daughter. And that is also being confirmed by the detective, how he doesn't care about this daughter or anything whatsoever. Her mental state, her wondering where her mother is, or anything. He doesn't care. It's really sad, really, if you really think about it. It's kind of terrifying that how he went through this whole elaborate plan about a conspiracy, something to do with her job, and that she's hiding out and she's a missing person. So if you're that concerned about you're going to get in trouble because you're supposedly enacting the husband and wife privilege, where you're supposedly protecting your wife, Why not call her and contact her now and tell her, listen, you don't have to hide, honey, because we got the detectives involved and we could possibly get a FBI agent involved. And if we need any further protection, we can get into witness protection where we could uproot and we could all be together. And then I won't have to be looked as the person who committed your murder or the reason why you're missing. But none of that comes into play at all, because he do know that he did what he did, and he do know that he's gonna deal with this. He's gonna have to deal with this, whether he want to or not. He can pretend insanity, whatever. He can continue on with the conspiracy theory, trope, whatever he wants. They have enough where they can show that he was involved with her abduction. Whether they don't find her body or not is sad, is unfortunate, because that's something for the family, that's something for the daughter. But they don't really need to find her body with the amount of evidence, camera evidence, blood stains, bleach put on the driveway, your vehicle there around the time that happened, your vehicle present around the time the neighbor heard her screaming screaming her lungs out. There's more than enough to confirm that you had involvement in whatever happened to her. So unless he wants to face that, that's up to him. If he wants to be a big man and put on his big boy pants, it's up to him. But truly, they don't need it. They don't need it. Sad, man. Let's go on. It's just terrible.
And I don't understand what's going on with you. That is 100% correct. Tell me then. Tell me what the problem is. What's going on? You told me
you're lying to me. That's all. You're lying to me. First you told me it was Ava, then you told me that you were going to leave the floor, then you told me my vehicle was going to be released, so you lied to me, dude.
Exactly. I did. I told you I did.
The other lady lied to me. You guys lied. You guys are liars.
I am a liar.
You are liars. I know. 100%. So I can't believe one word that's coming out. I can't believe that you have all that evidence either. I mean, you guys just continue to lie.
Photographs,
David.
Doctor, I listen to law enforcement officers, doctor, police reports, and use Photoshop to make their bruises look worse. I had them trump up a police report. Go to Palm Beach Shores, pull up my police report, and watch the body cam. And you don't tell me why I would, whatever, Riviera Beach, Palm Beach Shores, whatever. So you've seen it.
I know.
So you saw it.
Sure.
Did you see it?
I told you before.
Did you see
Riviera Beach.
Did you see the body cam?
No.
Look at it.
I will.
Good.
I didn't see it. I know the report exists. I didn't read the whole thing. I know it exists.
That's what I'm saying. You're not doing your homework. You haven't read the whole report. You haven't checked in El Paso. You haven't researched Viking Utility. You haven't researched Jeff Dreyer.
David, tell me what you started.
I told you. You
started going down a path.
Look at the email. Look at the email. It tells you everything.
You started going on a path. You said you don't understand me.
I'm not going back to that. We're talking. It's a new moment. I've answered all your questions. What are we gonna like? Am I being transferred? What's going on? Am I being?
Is that what you want?
I'm just asking a question. Like, I mean, you're asking the same questions. I'm giving you the same answers. There's nowhere. We're not going anywhere right now.
Think of how much better you would feel if you release that information.
You're rusing me again, Jared.
No, I'm not. I know how much. I know it would make you feel better.
It would make you feel better.
No, me. No. I feel great right now, no matter what.
You want to make up a lie about where she is?
No, I don't want you to make up a lie.
She's in El Paso. She's alive in El Paso.
Okay. I just wanted you to know.
I'll ask for a lawyer.
No problem.
You know what I mean? I could have done that when I first walked in the building, but I tried to cooperate with you.
You could have.
After Anthony asked for a lawyer, he was transported to the local jail. Anthony was looking at life in prison, But he had one more thing he could bargain with: the location of Gretchen's body. In exchange for revealing the location of the body, Anthony was offered a plea deal of 38 years in prison. At his sentence hearing, Anthony claimed that he believed the pandemic was the Armageddon and he wanted to escape. Anthony claimed that he tried to convince Gretchen to flee the country to escape the pandemic with him, but Gretchen did not want to go. This made Anthony very angry, so he took Gretchen's life. Anthony will remain in prison until the year 2058.
My illusion saw the COVID pandemic as an end-of-the-world prophecy, an Armageddon that I felt compelled to escape no matter the cost. Her life had value, her life had meaning, and I stole that life.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case, so please share.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. So, David went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it came down to COVID. So that also, now it makes sense why he had those gloves on, right? Because that was that time. But you unalive your wife because you wanted to run away to a different country and she didn't want to go. That's just insane. Or was you afraid that she had COVID and you didn't want to get it, so you was like, let me just go ahead and off her off because I'm not going to be staying in the room with her anymore. Like even in that's insane. That's crazy. And this guy was very hard to review because he was getting on my nerve. I think about 30 minutes in, he was getting on my nerve. But just even now, when he finally wants to confess because he doesn't want life in prison, he takes a plea deal and gets 38 years. 38 years is not enough. 38 years is not enough, in my opinion, but it is what it is. It's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. That was a rare one to actually review. Someone offing their significant other during COVID. But here's the thing: there was a lot of abuse, domestic violence, and unaliving that was occurring around that time, because people tend to realize when we got locked down, all of your outside things that you was doing in your life, going to work, going to be with your friends, social being with your friends, the time away that you had with your significant partner, people started to realize when they was locked down with them that they didn't really have a lot of things in common, or there was a reason why you had to have other outings, right? And a lot of that was on full display during that time. People had to relearn themselves in a relationship again, because you're not around people 24/7. So to the fact that you was around people 24/7, it took a toll on a lot of people, mentally, emotionally, and their marriages and their relationships. Sarah is crazy, yo. That's really crazy. Well, good folks of the algorithm, I've been on for 3 hours and 39 minutes. Those were the 3 cases that I had for you today. I know this one was a late one because I wasn't able to do it at the normal time that I do it, but I do hope you enjoyed these cases nonetheless. Even that crazy last one that looked like it was dragging out forever was like I felt like I was watching molasses dry. Like, it was ridiculous. But I hope you do enjoy it. Now, I will be back on Friday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the members live stream. So tomorrow the members will get a live stream to me. So look out for that. I'll put out the notification. But I do want to say I truly appreciate all you who came and rocked out with me. All y'all who gave commentary in the chat, truly appreciate it. Also, my number ones, my moderators, thank y'all so much. I always appreciate all y'all. And I will see y'all on Friday, okay? So please hit the like button on your way out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Get some good sleep. Get some good food. Get some whatever, even some good sex. Whatever you need to do, get it, all right? I really do appreciate you. I really do. And I will talk to you later. Goodbye, everybody.